Blessings, good evening, hello, good afternoon, good night, good overnight, and whatever else in between. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Enliven Global Media. And we are here tonight from all across the world and things. We're just trying to make sure everybody has some fun and try to smile through these troubling times. And I know for some it may be good, and for some they feel it's not good. But we all know in reality it's not good. And we have to really try to work through these things and come up with some solutions, address some issues, what happened, why it happened, and everything else right now. And a lot of people have a lot to say. A lot of people have a lot of feelings. So we're going to try to adjust to this the best we can and get through some of these things. I had an opening statement, but I didn't even feel like reading it because it's just like it was what I wanted to say, but then just a few minutes ago, it just really wasn't. But I want to make sure that we get an opportunity to express, offer a safe space for everybody. And also, before we get going and introduce our guests, I want everybody to first off, thank you for watching. And at any point in this time, please feel free to share your comments, good, bad, indifferent, what have you. We're not here to bite your heads off. We're just here to have an honest dialogue and things. First and foremost, I want to offer an introduction, allow everybody to introduce themselves, and we may have one or a few more people to join. But first and foremost, I want to start off wherever it may be on your end, but I want to start off with Queen Anika Walston.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Anika Walston, licensed mental health professional.
All right. And I'm going to go over here, Miss Shy Love.
Hi, I am Shy Love, and I'm just representing for the underside, those people that were in the middle last time. I work in healthcare.
Not a problem. Okay. First, I want to let everybody know everybody on here with this platform has a lot of money, over 500 grand or more. So if you need to apply for a loan, please make sure you send a message. They will send everything. They'll send your applications. Raw Silk.
Hi, everybody. Raw Silk, author, award-winning author, community actionist.
Amen. And last but definitely not least, Miss Queen Victoria James.
Hello, everyone. Victoria James here, luxury content creator and blogger. Nice to be here.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you very much. So, to keep it simple and fair, I'm going to not try to be as wordy as usual. But what happened? Okay. Unfortunately, she's lost by the largest, one of the largest margins, if not the largest in history, spent the largest amount of money in the world in history, which proves that, unfortunately, the most money does not always win. And in addition, the voter turnout overall was very low. You've had, we saw all these percentage numbers, but they don't accurately tell the truth because she's had less, Vice President Harris had received of the minority vote overall. She received less than Biden, Obama, Hillary, Bush, for Clinton. It hasn't been this low since the early 70s, and we didn't have 300 million then. It was barely 250 then, or 225, somewhere around that, a million people. We peaked at 330 million around the late 90s or so. So now what happened? Okay. I want to start off with Shy Love.
Well, okay. So for me, in my opinion, I think a lot of things went, didn't go in her favor for various reasons. Number one, she was a woman. Number two, she was a brown-skinned woman. Number three, the war in Gaza. A lot of young people, they didn't vote for Trump, but they did not vote for her either. A lot of people, in my opinion, I believe they stayed home. They didn't go vote at all. And it was those were the reasons for me that I think all of that played against her. And unfortunately, I don't think, it's just, I don't know. I don't think it was anything else she could have did to. And those the Glorilla performance and the Meg Thee Stallion at the rallies. Some people said that they were voting for her, and when they saw that, they changed their mind. I don't know who they voted for. I don't know if they stay home or decide to vote third party or Trump, but a lot of people that turned them off. So that's my 2 cents.
Mm-hmm. I kind of always feel like, but those are the same ones that will watch them in other settings, but then it's okay not for political. I think that you have to be mindful that people think that stuff is okay because we made those things popular and such. People will go to what we gravitate to, and good, bad, and different. That's what happened. I'm not the biggest fan of neither artist, but and I'm not saying that because of a male hater or anything. I think they're very beautiful women. I just not agreeance with how they go about certain things. But that said, Miss, your hands is tied up. I'll come back to you, Miss James. Raw Silk.
You would come to me. Okay, so I hear exactly what Shy is saying, and I'm calling bullshit on all of it because the same people will sit and watch Love and Hip Hop and Ratchet TV or whatever, and they are performers. Historically, every person that has ever ran for presidential office picked some form of performer. The Kennedys had Marilyn Monroe as a sex kitten. So I just believe it was all excuses. I believe that she ended up where she was because of sexism, racism, and white supremacy. This election wasn't nothing but protecting white privilege and white supremacy. The bottom line is it didn't matter. She could have looked like E.T. and she wouldn't have got voted for because the Republican Party is pretty much got hoods in their closet. It's no longer the Republican Party. It's a cult of Magna. Okay. And white men are never going to allow a woman to be in that seat, number one. And then black men are stupid and follow suit with that when they keep forgetting that it is women that is running things. Okay, if you look at your household, if you look at your household with your parents or whatever, your mom is the one who's holding everything down if you're blessed to have a father in the household while dad is out working. And if not, and your mom is playing 2 roles and managing both as mom and surrogate dad. So I just think that we need to be truthful and transparent about what it is. I'm disappointed in the brothers because you're going to tell me, and I hear you, Shy, but you're going to tell me that you was such in an uproar, not you, baby, the people. They was in such an uproar about Megan Thee Stallion, but him faking like he was giving oral sex to a microphone did not offend them at all. Him mocking challenged people and people with a disability did not at all. Him talking about grabbing pussies and stuff didn't offend them at all. But Megan Thee Stallion being Megan Thee Stallion or who she is offended them so much that they just couldn't get themselves either to the ballot box or to go to the ballot box in Baltimore. So we got to just call it bullshit. The bottom line is that we still live in a time where women, and primarily women of color, are not elevated to the level that they're supposed to be and revered to be. That's just the bottom line. We have never ever seen a man run for office and being held accountable for how many times he was on his knees, what he did to get to his position. But as soon as it becomes a woman, it becomes an issue. I think before I turn over, the funny thing that I want to say is, would we feel the same way because everybody was dying for Michelle Obama to run, right? I promise you, I am confident that if this was Michelle Obama, it would still be something that they would find that was supposed to be so offensive to turn them off. So that's just my whole 2 cents. I'm just totally disgusted with the whole thing.
Well, that's where I was saying before. It's like it was okay to any other time they're fine. If you're gonna like it, own up to it. Don't sit there and say whatever. Approve it for one thing, then not for another. Own up to how you feel and what you want.
Oh, can I give a disclaimer real quick?
Mhm.
Oh, I didn't. Those reasons I listed, those weren't like I didn't agree with those reasons.
No, that's what I'm
Those were
saying. I know I've heard all of those before. So yeah, I was clear that that wasn't particularly you. Those were the
yeah,
things
that's
that have
not
been
what
brought
I.
up
Yeah,
to the board.
yeah. Those weren't my my personal reasons. Those are just what I'm seeing from social media and what I've been seeing like during her whole campaign. And here we are.
Yeah, I do believe Stockholm syndrome is enough in all of this and things. It's really, really crazy and stuff like that. So I definitely understand. Ms. James, let me know when you're ready. I'll get you in a moment because I know you're blessing us with your time. Sorry. Oh, are you free
I'm
for a
ready.
second? Okay, cool. What are
Mhm.
your thoughts?
Yeah.
I
No, no.
know that this country hates black. Know that. They love our labor.
Hold on.
They
Get
hate the
that.
idea of us leading because they already know that we are beyond capable and qualified to do a better job than them and show them exactly what everybody already knows and believes, which is
Mm, darn it. Okay, we all
She'll
have a
come
we
back,
run it
but
in the boardrooms, we run it in corporate America, we run it in homemaking, housekeeping, every aspect of everything. They asked us to save them during the what do you call that? When we do our state elections, they asked us to save them there too,
mhm.
right? Georgia, save us. Oh, black women, please. They did it then. But when you have an opportunity like Kamala, who has 30 plus years of experience as an actual politician, not a reality star, not a repeatedly failed businessman who has people bail him out constantly. And then I won't even add the racism and stuff like that to it because the almost the exact same number of people voted for him as they did in 2020. So they know who he is, what he's about, and that's what they want. More of that, please. That's their mindset already. The issue for me, the biggest issue for me is the lack of voter turnout. The Dems didn't show up. And they didn't show up for multiple reasons, but I think that a lot of those reasons were just fake. It was just BS. They just didn't want to vote for her. It's not Gaza. There's always a war going on. It's not um it's not Meg the Stallion and them. Somebody always says something or does something stupid during a campaign. It's none of that. They don't want a negress as running this country, and that is the bottom line. The blackest, pun intended, bottom line. They did not want it to be her.
yep.
And because they didn't show up, if all that other stuff was the reason, look what you did. You think this is going to be any better? And the leopards are definitely going to eat their face. The people who voted for him, they're already starting to see, oops, oh, wait a minute. He can't do that. Yes, he can. You just invited him in because you would rather cut your nose off to spite your face. And I can't
Mhm.
wait to laugh at their asses. I'm gonna just be totally honest with you. I can't wait to go, ooh, look at you and look at you. Mm,
Yep.
don't ask us for nothing.
Nothing.
Don't even look over here.
That part.
Yeah,
That part.
Don't
I'm
look over here. I actually had a tweet, not a tweet, I'm sorry, a thread go viral. And all I said on it was, don't ask black women to do shit. That was the only thing that was on there. And it went viral. My very first viral post.
I know what you mean.
That
Just because
means that the same number of us who and how can you put on the shoulders us when we don't even make up 10% of the entire voting population? How can you expect us to carry it all? It makes no sense. Meanwhile, the main ones asking you to do so are over there voting for him.
Yep.
Oh, please help us. I run to the ballot and screw myself. Are y'all, what is wrong with y'all?
Exactly.
Don't, man, I gotta tell you, after this result, I said to myself, damn, I can't have no white friends. I can't do it because I can't trust you. I
Could you
cannot
talk
trust
about
you.
that for a minute, Vicky? Because that's where I am right now. Because and me and Anika talked on Facebook, right? So we get people that say dumb, and I don't mean to curse because I know your baby is in the room, so I'm gonna just say ish. We get people to say dumb ish like, I know you're not gonna get rid of friends because of an election. And I'm saying to you is that this is not about political, okay? This is about moral. If
It's
you're that
character.
morally and character, right, then you can't be my friend. You can't. And I'm real choosy about who I call my friend in the first
Yeah,
place, okay? Because we all know
yeah.
that all skin folk
Because
ain't
I'll
kin folk.
acquaintance you with the quickness.
Let me give you. Let me. Glad you brought that up, both of you. Let me play this for y'all.
This is my issue with people saying we can have
Oh,
differing opinions in politics and still be friends. Of course we can. We can have different opinions on policies. Of course. We can have different opinions on legislature. Of course. We can have differing opinions.
Okay, let me try again. Sorry.
This is my issue with people saying we can have differing opinions in politics and still be friends. Of course we can. We can have different opinions on policies. Of course. We can have different opinions on legislature.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. I'll get it straight. And I apologize. I don't know why the video is not playing, but
I'll finish up. Sorry. But
no
yeah, I
surprise.
really, my biggest issue here is looking at the demographics of people and how they vote after the election. It
Politics and still be friends. Of course
You
Go
can't
ahead.
make sense out of nonsense. You cannot vote in spite of yourself and then ask us to mammy you through your F up. I want all Black women to to turn around and act like you ain't see that. To sip your tea, stamp them passports, and go and mind your business. I really want us to do that. Take care of yourself. Let them figure it out. They keep screwing themselves over and all that. Like, let them fall on their face, man. This is absurd. This is absurd. And I hate that we have to deal with it along with them, but we just gotta let them make their mistakes and fix it they damn self.
Uh-huh. Understand. Here's what y'all were speaking about, and let me know if you hear or don't can't hear.
This is my issue with people saying we can have differing opinions in politics and still be friends. Of course we can. We can have different opinions on policies. Of course. We can have different opinions on legislature. Of course. We can have different opinions on how we think which direction we think the country should go in. Of course. But when it comes to character, moral, values, there is no differing opinions. We cannot have differing opinions on that. I stand very firm on that. We cannot have differing opinions. I cannot align myself with someone that is endorsed by the Ku Klux Klan, that is blatantly racist, that is a rapist, 34 felonies, sexist, homophobic, narcissistic, a bigot. Like, what do you mean we can have differing opinions and still be friends? No, we cannot. We cannot have differing opinions when it comes to character, values, and morals and still be friends. We do not align. You want to talk about policies? Great. We can have different opinions on policies. I can't even be friends with somebody that's willing to align with the Ku Klux Klan. You align with the Ku Klux Klan. You know, you can follow me today. I wouldn't blink an eye. I wouldn't blink an eye. I don't care how long we've been rocking. But I'm cool. I'm cool. What do you mean? That's not different opinions. That's different values, different morals, different standards for how I choose to treat people, whether I know them or not. I can't align with you. So don't tell me we can have differing opinions and still be friends. We cannot. You are aligned with the Ku Klux Klan, baby. I don't have anything to say to you.
Exactly.
Exactly. Like, and I'm grateful to have some white friends that are I've got a lot of calls and pissed off and mad as hell over this. And because they already deal with the fact that they know people know them as, they call them white black lovers and all these other things, and some of the things, or some people in their jobs don't deal with them because they don't align with them, in terms of Trump, or just hateful things that goes on in their local community and schools and laws. Then they, after this election, it's crazy. I have a friend in, not surprising, in Alabama, um, all morning last night, and started doing the election night in the morning, after Trump was announced as the winner. Nothing but tomatoes, eggs, and trash thrown on their all over their yard, because they were white people in Alabama that supports whatever, and it's sad.
I'm sorry, I'm having a difficult time, Karen. Okay, are they
Okay.
vocal? That's my thing. Because what I'm tired of is people being sympathetic for us and our challenges and our plights silently behind closed doors, or DMing me about it. I'm gonna need you to speak up. I'm gonna need you to talk your ass to your community and let them know what they've done. Oh wait, so being my friend, I can't be your friend. Okay, I can't be your friend if you're not willing to stand by me and speak up. Okay, and not be afraid to make your other cohorts, your pastors, your business
No,
partners, your golf and
no,
buddy.
no, no. No, I know the people you're talking about. No, I'm speaking to the people that are public, and they know they're public, and they're in this council meetings and things like that, fighting for equality, and they get jumped, attacked, and things because they are vocal. I'm speaking about them. The ones that just want to vote but stay behind the scenes. No, I can't deal with you. Those are not the people I deal with. Definitely not. Ms. Walston, we did not hear you. Also, some reason I'm having a little bit of technical on my end, so I apologize, everybody. Ms. Walston, going ahead, and I'm probably going to be rebooting, but the feed will still be going, but still stay on.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I've been trying for the last like 48 hours to like get my thoughts together. So I don't have any politically correct things to say. I will tell you this. As a black woman, I am very disheartened to really understand and see in full focus that they hate us. They hate us. I don't need poll exits. I don't need conversations. They hate us. They hate us and want to be us and want us to work for them and to still smile and to turn the other cheek and to be classy. But you hate us. This is not just parties. Guess what? That young lady was right. Ms. James was right. The Democrats hate us.
That's right.
They hate us so much that you were okay with making us feel low and still expecting us to just be okay with it. Get it together. Tell me about your God. Putting up white Jesus everywhere. Because basically, white Jesus hates us too. Okay. Now, I serve God. I ain't no color. But we gave birth to this entire nation. Can you imagine every one of your children hating you and disrespecting you and disregarding you and then trying to clean up how they feel because they want to feel better? Wow, I might work for another 7 days or for the rest of my life. Growing up with my black grandmother who was self-taught and educated. My mother who I watched white women, white men, and black men beat her down with a supportive husband who provided America's dream. And you're telling me she can't do anything, but these white crackers can do whatever it is that they want to do. You can't get an apartment. You can't, if you don't make enough money, you can't feed your kids, but he can do exactly what he wants to do and still get support. No, I don't have anything politically correct. And thank you for having your child here, because my mouth would have been totally different. Because America can kiss all of my ass right now. Period.
This is one of the, it's funny that this queen said that because I was that kid. I never pledged allegiance to the flag. I never sang the Star Spangled Banner. I never understood why Black people signed up for the military. I never understood those things for a country that shows us time and time again how much they absolutely despise us. They absolutely despise us. And I'm sitting here as she's talking, and I ain't gonna lie, as tough as I am, I've been in tears and I'm in tears again, right? And let me tell you why I'm in tears. As we're talking, I'm looking at that beautiful baby that Vicky has there, right? And my grandkids came to see me today, right? And my granddaughter, I told y'all see me post on Facebook of how excited she was about being a part of the election until she found out she wasn't old enough, right? And I'm like, my God, remember that scene from the ending of the Planet of the Apes when he said, my God, they don't know what they've done? That keeps playing in my head over and over again. They hate us so much that they would rather destroy this shit. They would rather sorry, Vicky. They would rather for this thing to fall completely apart than to even phantom us being not only in the White House, but in any form of leadership. How sad is that? How pathetic. I am sorry. And I know loads of Caucasian people that have been cool with me over the years. But I'm telling you, I feel that that is the most demonic race that there is out. That if you can turn around and you can put this animal in office with all of the racist, derogatory things that he has said and he has done, it is something wrong with you. So before somebody starts telling me about God, we need to be praying over him. He needs some holy water or something, because that's the devil walking. That there's no other way to describe him.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I said the first day I said we need to pray for him. Seriously. But even in my prayers, I want to be fair.
Stephen, you got an echo, Steve.
If it is not serving my Black queens, and I am committed, if it is not something that I can't do with a sister, if I can't uplift her business, if I can't uplift her children, if I can't do that, I'm not doing none of this other stuff. I swear to God, we can sit together for months and come up with a plan. I don't care. I am okay to give up to get forward with people who I know love me. We can be catty, go back and forth, whatever, but I will learn how to love another Black woman more than dealing with people who will never love me.
I mean, just think about what Vicky said, right? So a couple of days before the election, this man threw out the derogatory things he said about Puerto Rico being an island of garbage in the water, right? And we as Black women and some Black men took the charge. No, I'm Puerto Rico. We stand with you in solidarity. How is the people that he is trying to do mass deportation to? You are not white. Wake up. You are not white. They like what in a total world? So y'all forgot how he separated children, how families couldn't find their children. You kept them in little encampments and everything, and y'all showed up in numbers for him. I'm confused.
What really sad about all of this is that, in every 4 general pop, it's almost about maybe 20 to 25 million that changes over, that passes away, and also that becomes eligible for electing. And you would think that we always had the somewhat general hope, some anyway, that as the next couple of generations in 8 years, 40 to 50 million that changes over, even 60 in some estimates, that become eligible to vote and may have passed out. The old guard is gone, the new guard is in. Obviously, it's gotten worse. And you see that the preaching of it's not pie. Less of if we get more rights, you're gonna have less. The fear of xenophobia is real, and the fear of not having something because of others is crazy. And the sad part is, as a guy that's preaching love so much, and I'm still always going to still preach love. But it's sad where you know, if someone pours a full cup and only one gets a couple of drops, and you're gonna get mad at the person with the full cup versus the person that's pouring the liquid, and you can't see that. It's sad, and just the mindset that some people have. I want to shift the question over a little bit, and this may not be a fair or comfortable question, but I want to still be fair and speak up, offer it up. What are one, and if we can keep it short so everybody can get involved, but what are one or two things that you feel that Kamala Harris could have done, or should be? If nothing, that's no problem. But what are a couple of things you think that she could have done to make the campaign better? I'm not sure if there is, but still, is there anything that you queens feel that could have done differently? Shy?
Oh, she could have chose Denzel Washington as her VP, and I'm not. I think that no, I don't know. Okay, so I know you ladies think that the war in Gaza is not an effect on who, like how many people went out to vote for her, but for me, it is. Because younger people, I don't know the poll numbers or the ages, but just because of so much stuff on social media with the protesting and things, they really feel like she should have spoken out against the war on Gaza. And that, for me, that really hurt her. I would have voted for her if she had stood up for the Palestinians, and that would have made a big difference for me. But every time she got on stage talking about Israel has the right to defend itself, I mean, y'all are smart. Y'all know that Israel was made in 1948. That's not even a debate. So every time she got up there and said that, it was such a huge turnoff for so many people. And I mean, if she had got up there and said, the Palestinians, this and this, then she probably would have lost the other half of the votes, and then she would have got this other half of the votes. So she still would have been in a lose-lose situation. I don't think it's really anything she could have done differently, for real. I think she gave her best try, and I don't think it was ever meant for her to win. I think that they just played us all.
I want to add something to the fact that I know that whole situation has been a big divide between older and very much so the baby boomers and more so the baby boomers and the millennials, not so much the Generation X, but that's been a big debate. Unfortunately, I don't think many of the baby boomers understand how much of an issue that is for some young people. But then at the same time, I feel like if you're going to have that issue for them, then have an issue for it all, because there are wars all over the place that affects them and things like that. Now, yes, there are a lot of Muslim Americans here, and a lot of them that I know that there are a lot of young ones that snuck over here, got like whatever the situation may be, they're here now, and their aunts and grandmothers and people they grew up with are over there and they are dying. So a lot of them feel that way, and a lot of people are empathetic towards them. But at the same time, they sit up there marching with them, but also the same white people that's doing that also still voted for Trump. So
no. Hold on, pause. Absolutely not. No. They no.
Simple fact, because if the young people actually were,
that's the thing, though, Stephen. A lot of people assume because you're not going to vote for Kamala that you're automatically going to go vote for Trump. That's not the case. Those people, the people I'm referring to, they're not the same people. Whoever you're talking about, they're not the people I'm talking about. These people have their own mind. They are very into not just Gaza, but Sudan, like whatever's going on, they know about it. Because even if CNN and Fox and MSNBC and all of those news stations, they don't show us what we see on Instagram. We see nonstop boots on the ground in the middle of everything. Ambulances being blown up, schools being blown up. They tell the Palestinians to go over here because we're going to bomb your neighborhood. Then they go over there and set up a camp and then they bomb the camp. We are seeing this stuff with our own eyes, and we know for a fact that the weapons are being supplied by the United States. So it's nothing that she could have did except for get up on the stage and denounce all of that to earn my vote and the votes of it's millions of us, because those people that I keep up with on Instagram that are over there, they have millions and millions and millions of followers. And if you read the comments, it's nobody, everybody they're not voting for anybody.
No, what I'm saying is, no, I understand because I follow a lot between the BBC, Al Jazeera, and some of the other in Sky. I'm a heavily follower of what's going on worldwide in that particular. So I understand. I follow it because it's the people on the ground that's we're doing the reporting versus just general news. So the accuracy, I get that aspect. But the thing is that still non-voting is still not voting is still giving a vote to Trump at the end of the day. It still does that.
Absolutely.
No, but we don't feel that way. We don't feel that way. A vote for Trump is a vote for Trump. A vote for Kamala is a vote for Kamala. A vote for Jill Stein is a vote for Jill Stein. We're not giving votes to anybody. Racist people are voting for Donald Trump. Black angry men are voting for Donald Trump, which I'm not going to, and I think that they said 80% of the black male registered voters did vote for Kamala. So I guess that's a
no, that's here's the thing. The ones that
I'm just trying to give the black men some credit, because the black men I see on Facebook are super mad right now, even though they claim they voted for Trump. So I don't understand.
Here's that with that chart that's been circling around the net. Okay, it may say 80%.
What that chart is. So I'm not even going by that chart. I'm going by something I heard. Not the chart. It was something that said that 80% of black male voters voted for Kamala.
Mm-hmm. But then the thing is, but there was a whole bunch that did not vote at all, and that was
true.
The thing. I just went to an election party, and there's a whole lot of people. I literally got a message from 65 black men said that I ain't vote at all. And then I got another 30 that said, that did vote for Trump. I have not had one black man yet that I know personally. I'm sorry. Let me take that back.
Can you say that last part again? You said 65?
65 black men told me they didn't vote at all. I had 33, and obviously this is a small number compared to the general and not scientific.
Of course.
35, 36 said that they voted for Trump. And then I only have a couple that I know that actually voted for Kamala. I went to an local election party. There was very few, most of the black men there said they didn't vote at all. They voted for Trump.
I unfriended so many people on Facebook yesterday. And as they pop up today, I'm still unfriending them. It was so many of them that said they voted for Donald Trump. They gave the most outlandish reasons. I had one guy he's just like the fellow we had on here, 2 or 3 weeks ago, who is stuck on trans people. This man, it was not even him. It was some other man on Facebook. He was so against trans people. And he said that the Republicans are going to save us and the Bible this and the Bible that. And he was black, and it's something's wrong. Something's going on with everybody. I kind of boiled it down to there's way more unintelligent people than intelligent people. Is unintelligent? That's a word. That's what I boiled it down to for various reasons. But that's what I came to the conclusion of is intelligent people. We are the minority. Like that's it.
That's fair. I want to also, before I want Anika and Tracy to get in, before we do, I wanted to just let everybody know Miss Victoria James had to go. She has a little baby that needed to get attended to her young child and get her to sleep due to other things. But thank you. She wanted to say thank you, everybody, for allowing her to speak and express her voice and such. So just wanted to let that know.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right. Silk.
You would come to me. You would absolutely come to me. So I hear what Shy is saying or whatever. And I do have a compassionate spirit. I do care about what's going on there. but I'm gonna call bullshit again because that generation don't have a problem of not galvanizing when our own people is getting killed in the street. Where are you? Okay,
That's not
where
true,
are you?
though. That's
It's
not
no, but
true.
listen, I'm an activist. I work with the NAACP. I can tell
I'm
you that it's
I'm
hard
an
is trying to
activist
get.
too. I'm an
Okay, so it
activist
is
too,
hard
and
as shit.
they were out there. They were out there deep
I'm
during
not
Black
saying
Lives
all. Listen
Matter.
to what I'm saying. No, listen to what I'm saying. I'm not saying all. What I'm saying is home first. We always seem to be worried about what's happening overseas and what's happening somewhere else instead of us galvanizing about what's going on right here in our own backyard. Okay. Again, one of the problems that I have, right, and I guess because I'm angry because in a couple of weeks I'm going to be 62 years old, right? And I had the same debate earlier with my son who is getting ready to be 40 and a couple of his friends, right? This new age generation, y'all think y'all got shit all figured out. Y'all got, and I'm not talking about you, Shy, because there's some, but they think that they got all the answers to the world. They forget that people had to put in some real work for y'all to have the shit that y'all have. But because y'all have all of these privileges now, y'all just come up with things that's not in economics and not in civics and government 101. If you did not vote for Kamala and you did not go vote, you voted for Trump because your vote did not count. That
That's
one
not
vote, people
true.
have
No,
lost.
ma'am. No,
Okay,
ma'am. No, ma'am. I could
listen to what
never
I'm
agree
saying.
with that. People
Well,
had
and I
a right
respect
to
that.
protest.
And listen, I respect that, but the reality of it is that for every vote that's not counted was a plus on his side. Period. I had the same conversation here locally for people who knew that they didn't have a chance in hell of winning an election, but they put their name in because their ego wouldn't allow, or they didn't like somebody, or they didn't like what somebody did. And instead of working together to make things better, they split votes. So a person who was highly qualified for the job lost the job because 1,300 votes that they could have got if somebody would have dropped out of the race and not went with their ego would have been a
No.
problem. And that's and this is not to you personally. I'm just so fed up. I'm so fed up with us always coming up with excuses. The bottom line is we had a mission. We had a mission to pick the best person that we thought would serve this country for the next 4 years. Do you have children? Shy?
Absolutely.
You
I have
got
a
children?
19-year-old and a 20-year-old. I have a 19-year-old and a 20-year-old. And I
Okay.
took my 19-year-old with me to vote for the first
Okay, so you
time.
don't have
And we
children.
vote. I have a niece. I have a
Listen to what I'm
5-year-old
saying.
niece.
You don't
I
have
have a
children, you
5-year-old
have
niece.
young adults. Okay, great.
But
You got a 5-year-old niece. Let's go with that. Does she go to public school?
yes.
She goes to public school? Okay.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen when public school no longer exists? What's going to happen? I can tell you because you said you're an activist and I believe you. What's going to happen to those kids who the only meal that they get, period, is school lunch? That's free. That's going bye-bye. What is going to happen to all of those people who live in the projects that now they don't exist anymore? Everybody's got to pay their own way.
I can tell you this. If people do not like what is going on, then they need to organize. You already organized. So all you got to do is bring in more folks. And I need to do the same thing. Bring in more folks. Make our voices heard. We can fight this stuff on local levels. We can fight all of this. We just have to stick together. But in my good conscience, I could not go and vote for her. I just could not. I couldn't. My conscience wouldn't let me. If Malcolm X or Malcolm X, we'll go with Malcolm X. If he was alive today, he wouldn't have voted for her either. And he definitely wouldn't have voted, and he definitely wouldn't have voted for Donald Trump. So let's make that clear, because I've seen some people on Facebook and other things posting talking about we made our ancestors proud today. And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Do you even know who these men are? Like, anyway, like I said, there's a lot of stupidity going on. But like I said, if Malcolm X was alive today, even he wouldn't have voted for her.
I'm gonna go to Miss Walston, but I'm gonna say, hold on, Stephen. I'm gonna say this. If Donald Trump does everything that he said that he plans to do, not only will it serve Black people right, but it will give us a taste of what our ancestors had to go through to get the very privileges that we have today. We have gotten so comfortable and so complacent until it is ridiculous. Like, we have this sense of entitlement that we think that because we went to school and we've been allowed to get educated, when all of these things are starting to be stripped away from us, Mr. LP, I promise you we're going to hear a different tune. Because the one thing that I learned about this modern generation, they don't have no endurance and they don't have no perseverance because they're used to everything here. And what I mean by that, Shy, is, okay, I work in low income housing, right? And I had a young lady come in today and tell me that we're forcing her kids to eat off of dirty dishes. And I'm like, why? And how is that possible? She goes, my dishwasher's been down for 2 days. Heifer, you got a dishwasher, you got 2 hands, left and right, okay, and some soap. They don't have have this sense of entitlement that they don't have no survival skills at all. Okay, survival skills is when we were young, when I was coming up, the neighborhood ate because Miss Jones had bread, Miss Johnson had bologna, somebody else had mustard, and they fed the neighborhood. Now we live in this is mine, this is yours, or whatever. So I think if I have to think about anything that God is trying to teach us, is to get back to the basis of who we are as a community, as a village, because we are a village of communal people, and we have become so disenfranchised from each other that even our young people no longer respect the elders. They think they know everything.
I totally agree with you. I was looking at an ad for these buckets of like MRE food that you can buy, and the person in the video was cooking the food, from the bag, and people in the comments were saying, how are you supposed to cook this if you don't have power? It's a level of stupidity that we are in right now. It's horrible. And it's only getting worse. It's only getting worse.
I just the other day I was paying for something with cash, and it was $5.06, and I gave them.
I already know what it is.
And I gave them $5.26, and the guy didn't realize that I didn't give him a nickel and a penny. He saw a quarter and a penny. And he sat there for like 30 seconds trying to figure out. And he's like, oh, do I need to cancel this out so I can put in 20, whatever. And I said, dude, it's just 20 cents. Is it going to make my change George short? I said, dude, no. And in a second, if they're going to beat you up for 20 cents, then you don't need the job. I mean, that's just the truth. But first off, also Miss Johnson, thank you very much in the beginning. Incubator, thank you very much. Her representing the company, thank you very much for commenting. If you want to join on this show, let me know. But let's go to Miss Walston.
I don't have nothing for you. I'm sorry. I think the original question. The original question was, what could she have done differently? And then we got into a conversation about a country that I don't live in, don't care about. And so I'm sorry. I got nothing for that. She didn't need to do nothing else. She did exactly what she was. Since we're talking biblically, everything that she did came to pass. Move on. Next question.
I don't think I think the writing was on the wall. The only thing I could say strategically for me, and because I'm always looking at things business wise, I try to look at things from all sides and just strategically from a lesson standpoint. I do believe she should have went with Shapiro and got Pennsylvania, and then you would have if you would have maintained that.
Freaking killing me. You are killing me. Stop making excuses.
No,
that woman, all she needed was a penis and a lighter tan.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm not.
Shapiro didn't even get it. Stop it. Stop. They didn't like her because she was a black woman. And then
hold on. I'm not denying any of those things. I am not denying any of those things. I still think that it would have got Pennsylvania and North Carolina if it's Shapiro. Now, at the end of the day, still look, I'm not denying all those other things. There's still racist and things like that. Well, there's still chances of her losing, definitely. I'm just saying that strategically, I think it would have been better overall to got Shapiro.
If the party you are running for is voting against you,
Oh, but that
So
they
stop.
voted against you because they also they
Stop. So
no, they voted against her. They didn't
we
show
didn't
up.
want her to win. I'm so
They didn't
I don't
show
even
up.
know why we're having a conversation about what we could have done differently and what we need to go forward. Let me explain
Exactly.
something to you as history repeats itself. The biggest thing at the end of the day is Black women need to understand where they are, really understand. I
At the
don't care
bottom of the
what your
totem
topics
pole.
are. I don't care where you're
Yep.
going. I don't care what you believe in. Know who you are to these people. Number
You're at the
one.
bottom of the
Plain
totem
and
pole.
simple.
It should
You
never
didn't
be
want a
that way.
female president, but you better understand when you are asking for help, you are usually asking for help from people that look like me, whether it's in Gaza, Starbucks, Subway, wherever it is. And my
I'm
thing
not
is, since
denying
we
that.
cannot get ahead in a lot of things because of that kind of thinking, it really doesn't matter.
No,
Nor
listen,
do I get 3 great FUCKs. Okay.
no, listen, I don't listen. I am the one that's one of my biggest complaints always have been the fact that uh Black men, people don't support for women, because when everything came out for any issue, it's always not just recent 20 years, but in the last 30, 40, 50, anything. When even when King and X was shot, first people was out was always Black women, and also our Muslim Black women, and when everything comes out, but when every time women
But
shows up,
Stephen,
what
with all
men
due
don't
respect,
support women.
I understand what you're saying, but there's a different thing. It's different for you to quote what your belief is and what your feeling is. Anika and I are expressing what we live on a daily basis.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, as
On
a
a
woman,
daily
yeah,
basis. The
as a
bottom
Black
line
woman,
is
which y'all have
Black
to go
women
through.
are hated. Exactly. And the bottom line is that she could not have done anything different. And there's no excuse. She didn't do anything. There's a war always going on that white men are sitting in the office and nobody's complaining about it. Some people get riled up about it, but they get out and they vote for their ass. The bottom line is she was set up by the Democratic Party who had no intention. They just had to scramble and get somebody up in there or whatever and stuff. The fact of the matter is that Black people, wake the hell up. They tried to crucify Barack Obama for wearing a damn beige suit.
Damn
A
cancer,
beige
right?
suit. But this SOB can say some of the most racist, derogatory, misogynistic, narcissistic things ever. And he is getting ready to run the United States of America.
Full
Racism
tilt.
is embedded in its DNA. She will never be nothing but a racist bitch. That's who the United States of America is, period. It's in the fabric of her flag. It's in the fabric of standing. United States is so racist that when the Statue of Liberty was sent here, she was too damn Black looking for them, and they sent her ass back and gave her white features. So miss me
I
with
agree.
all of this foolishness about the bottom line is you hate Black women, period.
I
Period.
know. Don't get me wrong. I never said no. Listen, I'm the first one in line to say, look. At the end of the day, like I keep saying from the top to the bottom, Black women and other than maybe indigenous women, that's the only other one I'll say. But Black women are down to the bottom of the totem pole, and it's wrong. And it's always wrong. Let me also, sorry, Ms. Johnson said social media has desensitized us, created complicity. If the agenda was white preservation, she never had a chance. This is bigger, and everyone hates Black people. That's the bottom line. Also, I want to point this out too, and hopefully this plays. I'm trying to get this to play regarding.
For the
Here we go.
Hispanic, Latino, minority Trump voter who thinks they're all set. What do you think denaturalization means?
For those of you who don't know, don't worry. I'll interpret it for you. It's the removal of citizenship. Yeah, Congress can do that. So for a lot of you Latinos that think that because you're naturalized, you're safe, no, you can lose your citizenship. And deportation is immediate.
Basically, the video is what a lot of people don't realize. And first of all, let me remind some people that seem to forget what's not too long ago, as in recent years. Okay, A deportation is I'm saying it wrong. Sorry. Deportation is wrong. Okay, let's just get it and especially the way they're going to go about it. Because let me tell you what happens. They don't just go around and say, okay, that person, this person. They just going out and grabbing anybody who they think it is. There were a lot of people, innocent, even the ones who were born here naturally, okay, got rid of them. Heck, they even did it to Asian Americans not too long ago. Okay, people seem to forget about this. Okay, 20, 30 years ago, it was Asian Americans with Asian rights in the early 80s. And then they tried to do it again during the whole bird flu crisis. And then even just recently, when Trump was in last time, they were grabbing people and just snatching you up. People who served in the military. People who get, and I'm sorry, you serve in the military, you can be a citizen, I don't give a damn. But it's just like, come on. People who own businesses, tore down people's businesses, burned the people's businesses, firebombed them. Okay. And these were people who were citizens. And then who do you think is going to happen to? What do you think is going to happen again? And then now, and you think they're just going to come to Latin America? Oh, no. Anybody in the Caribbean? So that's any of us with any type of features, because they think we're all homogenous. Okay. And we know it's not. So anybody African, Caribbean, either way, still black, from any of the African nations, what have you, you are still less than them. You're not white. It doesn't matter. You're Hispanic. If you're a Latin person, and there's so many of them that call themselves white.
Exactly. That's why that's why we shouldn't use first people of color, because that ain't it.
Because at the end of the day, they deem themselves as such, and they feel that they are over everybody. And those who deal with Afro Latina, I have a great video, and I got to get this one up because this one is right up Tracy's alley of what we've been speaking about, that we have to stop and realize what's going on. Ms. Shai, let me come back to you on all of this. Okay. Now, my next topic I want to go into is what can we do to now protect ourselves? And I know this is a sensitive topic, and I've been asking this I spoke to about maybe 25, 26 different people in the last 48 hours since the election. And I do believe that now more than ever, everyone thinks they're above Black people. Yes, Ms. Johnson, very much. We have to start protecting ourselves. And I know people want to say, well, how does this become about? Well, let me start. The things that we joke about, the things that we just try to let slide or whatever, we have to be on. And even then, and I'm not saying this as a level of fear, so hear me out, but even now, more so than ever, we got to have our stuff together. Meaning, these people that don't know their fathers or don't have our birth records and certificates and information straight, I'm being one of them, not due to my fault, but not information out there, get that straight. If we're riding out here with dirty licenses and our registrations and inspections, get that straight. It's not about trying to track and tell people what to do, but as you go out the door and could get to work, and before you leave the work and come home, we need to start letting people know where we're at. Not just to say we call the husband and boyfriend, the kid, whatever. Everybody is marked. As Black people, we are marked on this and to white society here. So as a whole. So we need to let people know where we're at. Learn how to sing your location where if something happens, so we know where you are at. Okay. Tell your children to stop getting into frivolous conversations that have nothing to do with you, or walk away. I understand what happens in the school grounds. I understand there's peer pressure. I understand a lot of things happen. But teach your children how to get in and out of conversations. We need to, if you get pulled over by the police, shut your damn mouth. Hand the license over, take the ticket, and move on. Fight another day. Okay? All these different things are what we need to do. We need to learn your local laws. And we still got some downtowns officially or unofficially, but now that's not coming back. Okay, we live in areas, for those around here, we live in areas where, Dinwiddie or Cumberland and Hanover and all these other areas. Okay, we still live in just up the street. Okay, those
Absolutely.
they love to do KKK rallies off our tax dollars in the library, and that's okay. But if I said anything of a Black Panther Party, you best believe I'm gonna be shot down.
Right.
So that's okay. All right, know what's going on and just get yourselves in and out. Don't be sitting out there just with your car and yelling with your friends. We're going to this whole culture of our young people going out to clubs and things at night, hanging out to 2 or 3, 4 in the morning in some other bigger cities. That mess going to need to cut and go. And then am I sitting there saying, "Oh, I'm telling us what to do and whatever"? Fuck you. Yes, I am. Because, and Lord forgive me. Hopefully I said it right as a Black man today. I don't know. But
there's some things that you said that I can agree with. And then there's some things that I'm sitting here going, shut the hell up. Because at the end of the day, you sound like, yes, sir, Massa. Am I okay to go here, Massa? Fuck that,
no,
okay? My logic is
no,
what
I'm
we
not
need to
saying
do to protect ourselves. Hold on, Stephen. What we need to do to protect ourselves is empower ourselves, to support ourselves, to learn Black economics and Black economic empowerment. The template is already there.
too.
But we also need to let people know, fuck around and find out. How about that?
No,
Okay.
I'm getting.
That's
Hold on.
that's the method that I'm on, because it doesn't matter, Stephen. It doesn't matter. No matter, there's always going to be an excuse why we were gunned down or whatever, why we were doing this. You moved too fast or whatever. The bottom line is we live in a daggone brand new day. It is time for Black people to step up and realize that stop going to the master for your help. You going to the very people who are oppressing you to help you. How in the hell does that work in your benefit? How does that work in your benefit?
Hold on.
This is not a brand new day, though.
Hold
This
on.
is a brand new day.
I'm not denying that.
No,
Okay, first of all,
I mean that it's a brand new. What I mean that it's shy about it being a brand new day is, yes, things are the same, but you're not dealing with the same type of mentality and generation that you was dealing with in the 30s. You said it yourself with the young people. You're not dealing with that type of people anymore. You're not dealing with people that's willing to just constantly let you beat them down and get spit on and don't think you won't get that ass tax.
No,
Because
I'm
there are
not
some
denying.
hold on, Stephen. I'm answering her question. That's what I mean
It's a
by
brand new day in our favor.
Exactly.
Okay. Because I'm about to say it's always been fucked up out here.
Still things are the same, but things are going to remain fucked up because the one thing that they do, okay, first of all, every other group prepares their children. White people start preparing their children at birth for different things, for finances, for leadership, or whatever and stuff. We prepare at the drop of a dime when something happens, right? We prepare. It takes a Black man to get gunned down in the street before we tell our kids, okay, one of your people go, I know my rights. Well, if you knew your rights, then shut the fuck up, because the first right is you got the right to remain silent. So stay silent. Okay, so that's what I mean by that. We react and teach, but they teach their kids. Chinese people teach their kids or whatever, and they keep passing that torch on and on. We do not teach our children about finances because we'll go out and go bankrupt and not pay our rent to buy Jordans. We'll go out and go bankrupt to buy a PS5. Okay, we won't. We the only ones that's running out for Black Friday buying overpriced, high price items, and then when you run into a Mr. LP or a Nico or even yourself, Shy, that say, hey, this is not the way. Instead of buying your kid $400 and $500 worth of unnecessary toys, buy them some stock. Buy them, get 1 or 2 toys because they're still children, but buy them some stock. Like when I was coming up, my grandmother used to, every Christmas, we used to get a bond, right? And we used to get silver certificates. I don't know if y'all old enough to remember, but silver certificates were, and we still have them. Okay, we had bank accounts, we had passbooks, we had things that in school, we had passbooks where you took a quarter to school every Thursday and you deposited in your bank account. When I graduated from high school, I had a nice little nest egg because of the money that my mother had set up for us from kindergarten. Those are
That's
the things that I'm talking about that we need to start training. But as soon as you say something, our people go with, well, ain't nobody going to tell me what to do. Do you have kids? You're not going to tell me how to raise my kids. You raise your kids the way you raise your kids. I raise mine. But then as soon as something happened, they want to go, Black community, where are you? Why you ain't marching with me? Why you ain't standing up with me? Well, realistically, aren't you tired of marching? Because I know I am. I'm not doing no more marching. I agree with Anika. Don't call me for nothing. My sisters, if we galvanize and we need to do something, and when I say my sisters, love you in the whole nine, I don't want white women helping me this time. I want nothing but the sisters getting together and say, can we fix this love affair amongst us? Because once we can fix this love affair amongst us, then we can fix the love affair amongst us and our brothers or whatever. Because the only reason why we're perishing is because we're disenfranchised as a person. Okay, we're village people.
Hold on. I agree with you. First off, I was going there before you jumped the gun with that. My next thing, which I'm always speaking about, is we need to learn how money works. That's a big issue for me. We don't understand the money system. We do not know our local laws. I wrote a book about it and I was told to go to hell. I mean, we don't understand how to spend money. We do not understand learn how our health. We need to stop with this again. I want to preach it till the day I die. It's about how our bodies and our health, natural medicines. Understand. Look, there are doctors that are out there sit there and tell you do not take certain medicines because it's not made for Black people or whatever. And some of us will still go out and do it anyway. Don't want to learn. If I sit here and when I put out certain words online about certain health conditions, oh, you're doing too much. I don't need to know about that. Whatever. As a man, different prostate tests and tests, they say, oh, wait till you're 45, 42. No, do it early because of the simple fact of what's going on out there and how if I did not take the necessary steps and fight for myself to say I need help and what have you. And yes, I go to a lot of doctors, but at the same time, I'm still right here in front of you talking. Okay, so there's something to be said. We need to fight and advocate and learn for ourselves and things. And then at the same time, what's going on out there right now, the things that we fight for, we cannot fight equally, equitably, and fairly if we don't have our own house and our own health selves together. We don't teach these things in our homes. First and foremost, our education and how to conduct ourselves as decent human beings. Also, there's a comment I wanted to get in. Ms. Johnson said, I wrote a 48-page "You Are Not Alone" plan, sent it out. We have a rebuild community starting with families, neighborhoods, and communities. And she would like for all of us to read it. They attacked us with a 1940s playbook. Yeah, actually, it was a playbook from the 1910s and on.
I got a question, Stephen, for either Anika or Miss Johnson, because right now, I could speak for me. I'm in mourning. Okay, I'm not okay. I'm not gonna try to fake like I'm not okay. I'm on this emotional roller coaster. One minute I'm mad as hell and I just want to like choke the shit out of some people. Then the other moment I'm in tears because every time my grandkids come, I'm just like, I feel like I failed them in some kind of way. I'm not okay. And I think that it's okay for us to say that we're not okay. And if you're okay, that's fine. But you don't get to tell me that I have to be okay because I'm not okay.
That's definitely fine. I agree, because we have to understand what's out there and going on forward, because people need to understand the whole litany of it. And a lot of people are not okay right now. I'm going to share a video
at the New York Times this morning. The headline was "America makes a perilous choice."
What people don't understand is also what we danced around the subject
from a Trump administration
a little bit, but the issue is also we have mental health problem here in our country, and it's obvious with everything else that's going on that a lot of people have been in mourning since Tuesday. Yeah, a lot of people have, because it's not, mental health is an issue and we refuse to address it in this country. And what's happening is that because of
my mental health is fine.
I'm not saying you, Queen. I'm just saying others are. And then if you are suffering from mental health or some form and disease and hate, because if you agree with what's going on with this man, it's terrible. Here's what the other day Sonny had said on The View.
I think if you look at the New York Times this morning, the headline was America Makes a Perilous Choice. I think that in 2016, we didn't know what we would get from a Trump administration, but we know now. And we know now that he will have almost unfettered power. And so I worry not about myself, actually. I don't worry about my station in life. I worry about the working class. I worry about my mother, a retired teacher. I worry about our elderly and their Social Security and their Medicare. I worry about my children's future, especially my daughter, who now has less rights than I have. And I remember my father telling me many, many years ago that I was the first person in his family to enjoy full civil rights. And now I have less civil rights than I had when he told me that. So again, I'm profoundly disturbed that the 14th Amendment of the Constitution did not prevent someone who participated in an insurrection from becoming president of the United States. I think that going forward, the convicted felon box on employment applications better be taken off, because if you can be the president of the United States, in this country, because I remember applying for my jobs as a federal prosecutor, and there was a box for convicted felons. Well, and so that box better be taken off. And I think our healthcare system is now at risk. I think
no fluoride for anyone.
Yeah, economists have made clear that he's going to increase the debt by $7.75 trillion. I'm worried about mass deportation and internment camps. And I'm also worried about Elon Musk warning Americans to prepare for temporary hardship. I'm surprised at the result, but I'm not surprised. As a woman of color, I was so hopeful that a mixed race woman married to a Jewish guy could be elected president of this country. And I think that it had nothing to do with policy. I think this was a referendum of cultural resentment in this country.
Well, I think it.
Yep, exactly. Ms. Johnson stated that a lot of folks are not okay. There's been on the phone with helping prepare and getting my money right to help her grandson get into private school. I totally understand. Just as a not to take away, and I'm not saying anybody has a mental health issue or what have you, but if you're not able to reach out to somebody and you just want to share, and I know a lot of people are not okay, but just being the health advocate person, National Alliance for Mental Health NAMI, helpline 800-950-NAMI, which is 6264, or text the helpline at 62640. You can also chat with your local specialist in NAMI.org. In Virginia is also 511 for the crisis line. It's
988.
988. I'm sorry. 988. Thank you for the correction for that as well. Also, the SAMHSA National Helpline, 1-800-662-HELP, which is 4357, for confidential support and referrals for mental health and substance abuse disorders. And for teens, if you want to talk to somebody specifically as well, there's 800-852-8336 for youth in need of support. And please, there's already been reports of suicides. Literally, there are people. I have friends who woke up this morning or came off of work and they were, people terrorizing, riding up and down in their big trucks with the flags and popping guns off at night. Southside Richmond, there's been issues. I'm not the biggest fan of guns overall, but nowadays we have to understand the laws. And if you're running around with a gun illegally, please get that mess in order. There are also handheld weapons that are legal in various states. You can get, there's one called Bravia that you can get that's not a gun, but has the pellets, canister pellets you can use, stun guns, batons. Two other things that we need to also have a talk about: self-defense. Regardless, listen, some years ago, I've tried to set up classes about self-defense with a mixed martial artist gentleman I know here in Richmond in class, and I was told to shut up. Don't tell me don't tell what women what to do. Mm, I mean, you know, and I even got it down to $10. You know, these classes are usually expensive for free, but it wasn't just a normal, hey, do this, and we're gonna talk to you for 30 minutes and blah blah blah. No, you getting up in there with the pads, this, that, and they put you on the ground, whatever.
Mm.
Miss Tracy's husband Randy was with me when we took a few classes with him before a few years ago, and let me tell you, it's a workout and a safety. So, but I do advocate for that. Also, I want to have a talk with us about that. We need to start having talks with our sons and daughters about who you're hanging around with, and be careful, because people are now setting, not now, but even more so, be aware of people setting you up to be around the wrong people that can get you killed. One, you can be a good student all the time and good person, but you can be around the wrong people, and sometimes even then some things happen. What's happened to me, my stuff was stolen, broken into a home and stolen on top of all of that. I mean, you know, nothing was unlocked or whatever, glasses, doors broken, and stuff was taken, and I ended up getting a bad check for it. I didn't do it, but it happens. It's how you conduct yourself going forward. And at the end of the day, you can do all the right things. And personally, overall, for the, you know, with Vice President Harris, truly, it's pretty much not much else you could have done. We already knew. And it's sad. I made a statement online before that sadly, they're eating our cats and eating our dogs was a better statement than let me help you buy your first home. How is that?
Absolutely, absolutely.
You know, that was, and so also let me, and I want to get to that, Rashad, with you first. But first, he says, I'm a woman with a disability. Project 2025 almost as hard on us as immigrations. So hell, I'm scared. Trump has aligned himself with folks who kill individuals with disabilities. Yeah, I'm with you. And just set them up gun range is it? I'm sorry. Just set them
She said
up.
she ain't fighting nobody. She said go to the gun range. She ain't fighting nobody. Whenever you get around to me, that's what I was going to talk about.
No, that's no part. No, I'm just saying, no, I'm not sitting there saying to like purposely fight. No, gun range is not. No, don't get me wrong. For the self-defense class, obviously, it's not going to work for everybody. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying for those who can, obvious and things. Silk and Ms. Walston, y'all still there with me? Okay. Okay, no problem. I didn't know if I lost the signal. Shy, I want to ask you something. If you want to answer, that's fine. That's not. You recognize you didn't vote for Kamala and you didn't vote for Trump. Who did you vote for? Or if you want to share about who did you vote and why?
I voted for Jill Stein. She was the one out of everybody the most that I resonated with.
Could you, for those of us who are not familiar, I understand who she is, but from your words, I don't want to misspeak. From your words, why?
Well, she would say what's on her mind. She wasn't being politically correct. Like her views on the economy, immigration, they all aligned with mine. Funding wars, she doesn't want to fund any wars. She wants to help the people, fix home first, that kind of stuff. So she was like my pick. Dr. Cornel West, he was my pick too, but I think he was on the back of my ballot sheet or something. I didn't see him on the front. I don't know if I'm tripping or what. I know some people's sheets had more stuff going on or whatever, I guess depending on your locality, but I didn't even flip the sheet. So I only saw, Trump and Kamala and then Jill Stein. So I chose Jill Stein. But if I don't know what I was thinking. If I would have paid attention, I would have saw Dr. Cornel West on there, who is, for reparations. And no, I don't think we're really going to ever get any reparations. However, he would have been my first choice of who I actually voted for. But I didn't see him on there, and I voted for Jill Stein.
The only thing that I remember in checking and research for Jill Stein was the mass incarceration, and she was very big on the legalization of marijuana, sentencing reforms, abolishing of the private prisons, which led toward more incarceration for people of color, and the school to prison pipeline. So those are those things I do recall regarding her. Everything, no, I do not. But and I think she was with the Green Party.
Yes, the Green Party.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So those are the things there. But yes, we do need to start doing some other things going forward. What's going to happen? One person sent me a message on my phone, was saying about, and I talked about this earlier with somebody else, was asking about could Kamala do the same thing what they were asking Pence to do and not certify the election. Yes, she could definitely do that and what have you, but I don't think she would do that.
She wouldn't even have to do that, okay? If white America gave a damn about us, the president of the United States could make it where Donald Trump could not be sworn in as president of the United States because he is still the sitting president. Okay, he is still the sitting president, and Donald Trump is a convicted felon. Okay, with still pending charges. Okay, and what people don't understand, again, because they didn't go to government one-on-one, they don't hold government accountable for the things that they could do. Okay, he could be made not to be able to take office. Number one. Number two is we need to be clear that on the day that he swears into office, all of his charges go bye-bye. Period. He will never serve any time. Okay, he will never serve any time. Everything will be white, clean slate. He has already said that he's going to wipe himself clean slate. He's already said that he's giving police immunity. So if we think that, that's why I said it's so funny, right, that the brothers who couldn't vote for Kamala because all she did was lock black people up, whereas if your black behind wasn't doing crime, she wouldn't know who you are anyway. But okay, you're high on that moral, but you're okay with police officers giving immunity to do whatever they want to, and he's already said there's free reign. He said that this is not nothing that we're making up. He said it out in his speech over and over again. I can't even understand, because if you think back 2 weeks before the election, a black Trump supporter got beat up by Trump supporters at a Trump rally. That's what they think of it. You know what?
And he went on TV. He went online and bragged about that, and still say, "Yeah, I'm still gonna be Trump and this, that, and other." And he posted the video. What was that damn black guy? He's a gay, and in fact, he's a gay black Trump supporter. Seriously, he is.
That's why I say I'm not surprised at these election results. I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked in the least at none of this, because I pay attention to people. And there's a lot of stupid ass people out here who don't give a fuck about nothing. Donald Trump can get on there and say whatever he wants to say. Vote for him. He could probably go say something to black people cool or something, and they can go vote for him just to be spiteful. It's crazy. I'm not surprised.
No, it's going to be. It's going to be. Miss Walston, you had a drink.
She hasn't said anything.
No, I understand why Anika's not saying much this time, because she's trying to make sure that I don't violate any FCC laws. But but now that she had a drink, I really want her to say something.
What you want me to say, Stephen? Like, seriously, because I will go back and tell you this. I'll say this. I'm not sending nobody my location. I'm not sending or setting up or having conversations. You know why? Because I've already done that. That's what I do daily. I have sons. Okay. I'm not doing. I don't care.
It was for the people that don't. And keep in mind, when I say these 7 things, it's not. I'm not saying you. And I know there are people who already check in with people. I'm speaking for the people that don't.
I'm not doing. Let me tell you how this works. You come around here, I'm gonna knock your head off your shoulders. You come around here messing with me and any of these kids that I had, you getting fucked up on sight.
I agree.
And we're gonna save our money, and we're not giving our money to these people that want to do toes and nails, because I check the Asian population too. Fuck that Mexican food. I don't give a damn about these buses. I don't give a damn about who did what. Leave me alone. That's what I'm saying. So if you did not vote for Kamala, I don't give a damn what you do. I don't give a damn what happens. I'll wait. I'll wait on God, as they say. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep. When I'm saying that, I know you check on your children and your family and things like that. So it's not, when I make that statement, I'm talking about for those who like, I can do whatever, I don't care or whatever. And then you get hemmed up. And then the first thing you do is you want people to join in online and whatever. You know, it's crazy. Ms. Johnson stated, I got a video to play, but Ms. Johnson stated, Sissy has the tapes and he was told to shut up and wait. And too many are on tape. Average white people. Let me get silky here. The average white people drank the Kool-Aid, but Trump had Epstein killed, and Trump is getting away with everything because the FBI has the tapes that he had to win. Diddy Epstein didn't have any tapes. Okay. What's also, like the Silk said, stated, is that you know, he's going to, and then although they were battling, the governor down in Florida is going to go ahead, and because the there and in New York, they're going to go ahead and probably wipe his record clear because of felony charges on state. The other federal charges there, they already said, Jack Smith already said he's winding down the charges. And also, we're going to have that other guy, Merrick Garland. I'm glad he didn't get Supreme Court, because what he's been doing as a prosecutor and all these other things, he could have brought these charges ages ago, and you waited too late. You waited 3-4 years. What evidence, more things that you knew? The man stole documents, okay? Flushed them down the toilet. Gave documents away to foreign enemies that shouldn't even been allowed to come to the U.S. in the first place. And it was already shown records long before it came out of the news. We already knew, but it came out 4 years later. He gave out COVID equipment to Putin, all these different things. It's silly. Let me play this video for y'all also.
Hey, MAGA. Hey, leftists who didn't vote. It hasn't even been 24 hours, and we can already tell you we told you so. You guys were all out here claiming Project 2025 was a Democratic scare hoax, claiming Donald Trump has nothing to do with 2025. Steve Bannon, Matt Walsh, people around Trump have already come out admitting, yeah, Project 25 is totally our agenda, and we're going to implement it. All they had to do was wait until the election was over, and you gullible rubes fell for it. Because you were that damn blind. Now that the election is over, they can go full Yahtzee in broad daylight. There is nothing in their way now. And you guys gave them that. And I hope you get everything that you deserve. Because this will affect you too. And in just a couple years or less, when you've lost your house, your job, your Social Security, your retirement, and his tariffs and mass deportations have shot our unemployment and our inflation well over 10% each, as the economists have said is going to happen, I really hope you guys are still proud of the destruction you caused to our country. I'm just kidding. I hope you're never able to sleep again.
Who's going to tell the poor, uneducated white men they're still going to be poor and uneducated in the next 4 years? Like everybody in their state, you're going to be in the same state that you are. That okay, I'm going to be good. Trust me, I'm going to be good. But I'm not going to forget. Okay,
Yeah.
This is, I don't care nothing about. Again, we said all this stuff before the election. And we don't need to reiterate it after. Okay? Yep. Just call it what it is. You want to have conversations about what Trump is going to do? It doesn't matter. Let him do it. It don't matter. I don't care if you put together. I listen. All I know is I don't care. I really don't.
It's gonna get to the point where
with Anika, it's like, for me, I don't have nothing else to give. I agree with her. I for one, and Mr. LP, have gone up and down the state of Virginia teaching about what Project 2025 entails, who Donald Trump is, why Kamala is the best. to pick that. I was listening to a Shy and I was laughing because she said she voted for Jill Stein, but one of the things she said is home first, but we're concerned about Gaza. I'm concerned about that. I was going to come back to her on that. That just really just blew me. But again, the conversations now, I don't care. I give no damns. Okay. It's kind of like I said when I put my post the day after, a hard head makes a soft behind. My mother told me that, you got children and you say that's a pile of crap, don't step in it. That's a pile of crap, don't step in it. Well, you guys have stomped all in the crap. Now you deal with it. My logic is like this way. They say, oh, well, black people struggle, but they don't seem to realize white America, this is going to affect you too. It's going to affect your money. You know, the funny thing, I had a conversation, Anika, today with someone that said, well, I voted for him because he's going to put the tariffs. And I was like, you do realize it's the purchaser, it's the person who's doing the purchasing that pays the tariffs, not the seller. I'm like, and they was like, no, that's not how it, yeah, that's how it is. A friend of mine, Stuart, said something so profound on Facebook today. He said, I never understood when I was in school how people failed open book tests.
Gonna take America back, baby. Donald J. Trump,
Okay?
man.
And that is so profound when you think about it, that someone could fail an open book test. This was your open book test, America, you failed.
Oh, very much so. Ms. Johnson stated that the judge of Florida who throughout the case would be the new attorney general. Yep, very much so. And you have to care because
and for all of those that's living in Virginia, Trump has already called and have a meeting with Youngkin, who has already started implementing his Project 2025 agenda right here in Virginia by banning black books, by banning black history to be taught in school or whatever. And now he may very well be a part of that administration. So good job.
Oh, yeah.
Good job.
Yeah. Oh, I'll tell you, the only advantage in that is that we hopefully get somebody else in the middle of this, and then we have to have an election to get rid of this.
Well, what's the good part?
No matter who they put in there, it doesn't matter.
Exactly. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. They're going to do what they want to do. I don't care what the color is. They're going to do what they want to do. Okay? So let's stop acting like we can trust the side that we're going to put somebody else better there. Because I'm not voting no more. So you ain't got to worry about it. So I don't know who you putting in there. Okay, y'all figure that out. Let me know about it.
Here's this. Here's what another. I came with preparation today. Check this out because I was laughing.
I'm voting for the man that's going to take America back, baby. Donald J. Trump, man.
What's one of your biggest issues?
It's probably going to be inflation because I sell T-shirts and all that stuff.
Your T-shirts are made in the USA?
No, my blanks, no. See, that's the thing Trump's talking about. We tax them, hit tariffs, the same item they're making over there will cost the same to make over here.
We pay the tariffs.
Well, the companies pay the tariffs, not us.
China doesn't pay the tariffs. We do when they come in.
No, it doesn't work like that.
Like if I'm buying 1,000 shirts from China and there's a tariff on it, I'm paying the tariff.
Well, no, whoever's getting it imported in is going to pay the tariffs.
Yeah, I'm the business owner. I'm paying the tariff. China doesn't pay it. I pay for it. Well, if I'm the business owner and I buy 1,000 shirts,
I see what you're saying.
China's not. Charlie, so I'm trying to.
Who pays the tariff? They're paying the tariff.
Do you think that? You believe that? I was trying to say because I sell merch as well.
I sell you something for $10, right? You're going to sell it to him for $20.
Exactly.
But then I make you pay me $15 for it. Are you still going to sell it there for $20?
I can sell it to him for $20.
If I raise the price $5?
Oh, it's going to have to go up.
Right.
So yeah, the consumer foots the bill.
So stupid. Right. You know so much, but common sense escapes you.
Yeah.
Common sense ain't so common anymore.
Stop spending your money with these different people, even that man that sells T-shirts. Make your own food, grow your own vegetables. Stop going to these places that don't really like you while they speak in different languages and talk about you like a dog. Go take care of you. Preferably, Black women, go take care of yourselves. Y'all know how to do everything that everybody else does anyway.
You raise a good point because this is something that I said. Remember the last show? I said I started making note of everybody who got Trump signs in their yard and businesses or whatever and stuff. Because you think about this, okay? You got, like you said, there's some crazy people out in the world. We go to these restaurants, we don't know what their agenda is, who they supported, what they believe, some of the rhetoric that's you don't know what they doing to your food because you don't go in the kitchen. Some people let doctors walk in their room and inject them with
No,
stuff.
I never seen it, but I heard it was good.
Okay, so I'm like really paying attention. This thing is bigger than this election, and people don't realize it because this man has run this thing like a cult. Okay, and one thing about cult people, they always want to please the leader all the time. That's why Jim Jones got the people to drink the Kool-Aid. If you know anything about cults, so they listen to him, and even though he may not, even though he says a lot of things, but even though he has not directly said, I want you to go out and kill black people, the subliminal messages that he sends, and anybody that went to college and took marketing 101 and knows about subliminal messaging, he puts that out there. There are some crazy people out there that takes this thing to the extreme. He's the
Context clue.
only person I know that's got 3 assassination attempts on absolutely nothing, like stage. Like everything with this man is like a reality show. Like you even closed out McDonald's to film yourself. I mean, like what in the hell are people thinking? So I'm like Anika. I don't have any more to give. I tried to educate. I tried to teach. Hard head makes a soft behind. And like Kevin Hart said, you're gonna learn today. You're gonna learn today.
Yeah, I wanted to say something to Miss Silk. Miss Silk, when I was talking about worrying about America and Dr. Jill Stein, I was talking about she doesn't want to send money to other countries to fund their wars.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So and I'm confused. And so help me out because I'm not being facetious. If she doesn't want to send money to other countries,
she doesn't want to send money to Israel to kill innocent people.
Okay.
Kamala wants to send money to Israel to kill innocent people. So that was number one. And then Miss Anika, you said, did I hear you just say that you weren't gonna vote anymore?
I'm not doing nothing.
Okay. But there's people who've been feeling like you for like the past 40, 50 years. When I was a child, when I was about 10 years old, my uncle told me it was no point in voting. So why are you upset? But now you mad that your candidate didn't win, so you say you're not going to vote. But you criticize the people who didn't vote or who said they didn't.
Great, Dandy. I am just like you are allowed to make decisions. I am upset for other reasons bigger than this election as a woman. This has
but there's other people who've been upset for other reasons too. So you can judge them for not voting, and now you're upset. That's a double standard.
Hold on, one at a time, ladies. Hold on, ladies.
He's getting rid of voting. So that's a minute point. No one's going to be voting anymore because he's eliminating the whole electoral college and voting. This was the last election that the United States of America will ever have, period. There'll be no more voting. He's already said he is going after the Hitler model, where he is going to be calling the shots. He is going to be putting people that believe and support the things that he does. And if not, then they gotta hit the road. So the elections is over. This was the last chance to get it right, and we did not
get it right.
And he said that you will never have to vote for me, and you won't ever have to vote again. Let me go ahead.
Y'all sound helpless. Y'all sound helpless. Y'all are not helpless. There's things that can be done. Y'all sound crazy right now. Y'all sound crazy.
Hold on.
Our ancestors ain't die for y'all to just give up and roll over like this.
Listen,
hey, ladies, hold on, ladies.
That's not a give up and roll over. That's just a fact.
Hold on, ladies. I'm not trying to. Okay, I don't like hitting the mute button at all. Okay, so please forgive me. Okay, but please, I understand, but I want everybody to get their words in and things like that because all of y'all want to make your points. I want y'all to have your points, and this is a very good thing. And all of y'all are saying something important. I want everybody to hear. So let's finish it. The last part about Shy. Let's say your last part. I want Walston to go and then Silk. Okay, Shy, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just saying, like, y'all, this is not the end of the world. Do we have a fight ahead of us? Yes, we do. But it can be done. It's not the end of the world. The world is not going to end because Donald Trump is president. Do something about it. What are you going to do about it? Because you can't sit around and cry. That's all I'm saying. I don't understand. I don't even know why anybody is shocked right now. I don't know why. I really don't get. I don't get it right now.
Okay, I don't think the point, and I'll let the ladies jump in and correct me if I'm wrong. It's not. I don't think anybody with sound mind thinks it's a shock at the election or even how much that she lost, because this is a referendum on what people think of Black women and Black people in general. What the issue is that we have the opportunity to vote again if this man gets in office and takes that away? Will we have that opportunity again? Also, just to get in, don't want to miss these comments here. Stop spending money, keep your cash today. Fool, I only took cash. Showed me what they want to keep our cash. So we're getting ready to see why America is a superpower for a reason and has to help others. Exactly, I'm voting again. And then she states 48 months is the end time. Revelation 13 gives context. Okay. Ms. Walston, please jump in. Okay. You don't want to?
Number one, I'm not helpless. I won't ever be helpless. And no, I'm not saying that the election is a shock but I just find it to be extremely disrespectful for someone to say to get over it, especially if we're not listening to exactly all of what this means. Here's the thing. Trump is a man. You know, he can't, like, a man alone, he can put in and say whatever, but God does have the last word. We know that. But the biggest thing is, it is not cool. It is not beautiful to see the disdain that the people that you eat, break bread with, walk around with, your children go to school with, really have no regard for you. It is about people that have regard for the people that support them. It is really no different than slavery. You want us to be good slaves as long as we do what you want us to do, and you want us to smile about it. And when given the opportunity to do something different, something is placed in front of you, you can eat it, it's been seasoned, you choose to throw the plate out the window. Yes, we can all make changes, but why did we have to make such a big change that was already right there for us to change? Which lets me further know why we all got these things to do. A lot of y'all just hate us. It's not about defiance. You just kind of hate us. And that is a big thing. So that means no matter what we do, no matter how we try to press forward, no matter what, you're always going to have an issue with what we do. Period.
Yeah. Society has treated like that all the time. The only way I give that to is also indigenous, because for the simple fact that they hated them so bad, they named them Black because they didn't want to name them. They still don't want to name it. They still don't. Records even to this day don't want to even recognize indigenous people. They still want to just call them Black because they rather do that than to recognize indigenous and accept the fact that you stole this land from them. That's the problem there. Silk.
I think the same. I just wanted to be clear to Shy Love. No, I'm not hopeless. I'm a person. I'm a fighter. But the fact of the matter is that I'm right now tired of fighting for our people who don't want to fight for themselves. God helps those who helps themselves. Okay, the bottom line. Okay, and faith without works is dead. And so what happens is that there's some people like you, Shy, that is in the fight, that does what they can or whatever. But then there's some that just sit on their ass and wait for shit to happen, and then they want to be saved. And I ain't got it in me no more. One of my favorite sayings I say is, there's a whole bunch of species that we never got to see because their ass didn't make the ark. Period. They didn't make the ark. He told them that the rain was coming. He told them to come to the ark, and they didn't show up because they thought that they had the answer to the whole world until their ass was underwater. So as far as I'm concerned, I equate this to right now, you are now underwater. Sink or swim. Okay, because I'm gonna fight for me and mine. I agree with you. I'm gonna do what I gotta do. But we gotta stop faking the funk and thinking that we don't own shit. We ain't in control of shit because we sit on our ass and wait around for the master to give us stuff. We should have been preparing. You're right. This election is no surprise. That's why I started preparing a long time ago and saving money and not putting my money in the bank. This generation is so dependent on technology and phones that they, like Steven said earlier, if their cash register don't work right, they don't know how to cash change. If they lose their cell phone, God forbid, if the cell phone towers crash, we don't control anything. And every time people like us that got the fight keep saying, listen, we need to start owning our own this. We need to start, we're not black enough. We're not rich enough. We're not powerful enough. So until we get together and stop fighting each other and come on one accord, we get what we get. Because in our villages, everybody had a role. Everybody wasn't hunters. Everybody wasn't cooks. Everybody had a role and they knew the assignment. Everybody knew what the assignment was Tuesday, and some of them failed.
Agreed.
Can I say this, please? And the
Please,
other
jump
thing
in.
is, I'm going to give Gen Z a little bit of break on this because they turned out for the Democrats. Most of them did. They did. If you look at the percentage, less than my age group. I think it was 44 to 45 to something. The Gen X, less of us voted for her, which is of concern also. So when you start looking at all those numbers, yeah.
A lot of what's going to show up eventually down the numbers that come down is not just we see the numbers. What we're seeing now are numbers of who showed up in which direction they voted. What we're not seeing is the people that didn't vote at all.
But there's a large number of there's a large number of that too. So yeah,
for Black men and Black women and Latino as well. Way less of Latino. A lot of them voted and they just voted the other way. So it's just sad. Like, you really, Stockholm syndrome is bad when you can set somebody disparage you, call you an N-word and everything else in your face, and joke and call your country and everything else to your face. There's this also, and I'm not trying to fan the flames of racism here, so please, people, don't think about that. There's a big cultural thing where there's a significant number, not all, but significant number of people in Latin culture that are not in line with Black culture as people think. And then those who are Afro-Latinos and things of that nature, they're just not there, and they're not realizing the problems and the mistakes that they are doing and what's going on in this country. And they need to realize, there's a lady that wrote a book regarding this, and she spoke on a stage not too long ago, and then also after the election, that your status does not hide you. And I'm not going to just say this on Latin American. We're focusing on that because of the high number turnout towards Trump. But this also goes for other cultures, especially those from the various countries within Africa, other island nations that come here and think you are now different because you've arrived. I want you to understand that you're not. It was never, and I'm going to say it till the day I die, it was never integration. It was always assimilation. And you see it at assimilation and the beauty of white privilege to show you that we don't care if you what color, we want you here. As long as you act and think like us. That's the end, and do what we say. And the people that of all these cultures that's doing that now, you see what happens with assimilation is going to get to use Tracy's words, get your ass kicked. Assimilation is going to lose your family. Assimilation is going to make you lose your money. Assimilation is going to make you lose your home. And on top of all that, you're going to lose your cultural identity. You're going to lose your health. And more importantly, assimilation is going to get you to lose your life. That's what's going to happen. Ms. Johnson stated that, as much as I really, she thought maybe this is too soon to have this discussion. I, I think it's important to have it. Complacency is being rebuilt, and we have to learn how to have grace and grow together. We have to press into grace and be understanding. What would you like for us to be, just for clarity, because I want to make sure I don't misspeak? What would that understanding be? If you're still here, then you got it in you. This isn't time to blame. It's time to introspection, how we can communicate and fix our stuff. And then the last thing she said, we need to focus on Project 25 and the Agenda 47 and countering that. Okay.
Can we go back to something that Miss Johnson said? Because the one
Sure.
thing, and I agree with everything she said, except for the part about this is not the time to blame. It absolutely is the time to hold accountable. We have to start holding each other accountable. And I'm not saying, Miss Ralston, one of the things like Miss Johnson, that we may see different views, you know what I'm saying, on political agendas. We may feel different way. But when it's time to galvanize as a people, everybody needs to show up. It doesn't need to be a us and them situation. I said a long time ago that I stopped voting parties anyway. I start voting for the people who talk my love language, that's talking about the things that are important to me, that I support and that I believe in. Just like Miss Shaw said when she said she voted for Miss Stein because they align with her. But in this instance, where this is one of those rare instances that we're not talking about a normal political climate. We're talking about a man who in 2016 showed us who he was. He has continuously to show us with what he is. I'm sorry. I'm holding those that voted for him accountable. And if you are in my social circle, hearing my voice, and you voted for Donald Trump, delete me. Don't call me anymore, because we no longer morally align with each other. It's not about your politics. It's about character and morality. And I just can't rock with you. I'm sorry. I can't.
That's understandable. That's understandable. Miss Walston? Uh-oh. Did I lose people here? Oh, I'm sorry.
No, what's
I'm
your
sorry.
question?
No, I was giving you a chance, you and Shy, to follow up to um what Tracy said.
At the end of the day, I hear I'm I'm just not. I'm going to feel and be wherever I want to be in this moment. I'm giving myself permission. I don't, yeah, I get the Project 2025, let it happen. I'm going to survive daily, do what I need to do, and just keep on living. Okay. And wherever that takes me, I'm just going to continue until I close my eyes. I don't have it. I have nothing for any of this. I'm going to work. I'm going to be a mother. I'm going to be a good daughter. And I'm going to still be kind. And I'm still going to pray and love. And that is it. However, outside of those things, if you need me for something else that has nothing to do with those things, you might want to go ask somebody who cares.
Mm-hmm. Just to go over something. First of all, just to let you know, Ms. Johnson is looking to come on, so I'm giving her a couple of minutes to try to jump in and share her thoughts recently. Also, just Putin just now sent the message out congratulating Trump. Trump touts Susie Wiles as the first woman to hold the chief of staff, and she's supposedly credited as his most disciplined campaign. Really? That's what you want to go with for everything else. She's supposedly been integral in the last two campaigns, and she's going to supposedly help him stay disciplined. He said the most worst stuff
So
now than ever.
right now on Fox News, it says Donald Trump's press secretary speaks on his plan for the start of his term, which includes on day one launching the largest mass deportation operation.
Mm-hmm.
He
Exactly.
doesn't consider Fox fake news.
Oh yeah, he's mad at Fox News now.
Today,
So,
till somebody starts kissing his butt. So yeah.
oh well,
He
yeah.
whoever, yeah. So okay. So this is his plan. He said what his plan is. This is what we shouldn't be shocked about. This is what we shouldn't be upset about or cry.
Exactly. We shouldn't be shocked or upset because he told us. He told us what his
Exactly.
plan was. I don't know what happened to that saying when people show you who they are, believe them. Like
Believe
what
them,
what
yeah.
what did I miss?
Yeah.
Like what happened?
A couple of news updates. Also, California. California governor called special session to protect liberal policies from Trump presidency. Books The Handmaid's Tale in 1984 are flying off the shelves. And they don't care, but mass deportation is going to be costly towards the bottom line. They don't care. Right now, the House is still, the votes are still coming in for the House. Republicans are they need 218 for the majority. Democrats at 199, and Republicans at 212. And we're so far as looking at that's going to come to pass that the Republicans going to get it. And if he gets that, then the Supreme Court, we already know how the Supreme Court is. And we already know what's going on with the Senate. So it's going to be pretty much have unchecked feather power. We're looking at almost 1.5 million, if not 2. Some say as many 3 million people will be deported. And I'd like to see how that's going to happen. We can't even pass.
How do you want to see how that's going to happen? Why do you want
we
to
don't have over 3 million people on planes in that short amount of time in a month.
Oh,
Cruise ships.
We came on boats, so I'm sure they can.
We came on boats, and they packed us all on boats. What's wrong with you, man?
On top
You
of
crazy,
each other, right? You didn't read the first chapter of Roots. They had us on top of each other. Did you know that?
They had us on boats. Like
not all of us came on boats, y'all. Not all of us came on boats. We gotta get rid of that's a myth right there. Not all of us came on boats.
No. We're not saying all of us came on boats. The comment was he was saying how many people they can't get all on planes, and we were saying they got boats. We came on boats. They got boats. We know. I'm fully aware that all of us didn't come on boats. My ancestors didn't come here on a boat.
Yeah, they might have clicked their heels together and asked to get back to Kansas. I know, but if they got here, and maybe some of them didn't want to be here. But don't forget, some of us sold us into slavery. I mean, we can do full-blown history lessons if we want to.
That's the next show. But let me be respectful. First and foremost, we have Miss Evelyn Johnson, Queen Head Honcho, HNIC, the Don, the Diva. Don't cross her way or she's going to shoot you with a stick. Miss Johnson here with us. How are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you. And I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just getting out the tub, but I've been on here and I've been Raheem Johnson. Raheem and Monique, this is my husband and my page. So I've been commenting. So Steve said, "Then just come on." So I'm here.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So the one thing I wanted to clear up because of your words, I wanted to thank you first of all, thank you personally and professionally for joining in and sharing your thoughts and the kindness that you are taking to shown towards us. Though one part I wanted to press on, and Silk needs to probably correct me if I understood it. When you say we have to press it to grace and to be understanding, who, to whom, and to what we need to be understanding of?
Only thing that I can say is when the young lady said she voted for Jill Stein, I almost got off of the Zoom. I've almost left the whole process because I really honestly thought I'm not ready for that. I'm not ready to hear that somebody that looks like me didn't vote for. That was my personal opinion.
Mm-hmm.
While I was and the Lord dealt with me in that moment and said, that is not where you are in this fight anymore. You need to figure out how to prepare for these next 4 years. So my position, what I was saying was, and what he dealt with me with, he was like, who cares who she voted for? This is where you are now. So, and the thing that he really brought back to my memory, what he brought to my spirit was, I have a 34-year-old daughter and I have a 24-year-old son, and my mom is 77. And most of the time I sound like my kids when I'm talking to my mom. And I said, and I feel like my mother still doesn't understand me. She doesn't get me and this, that, and I just felt like in that moment, the Lord said to me, it's time for you to stop having an opinion about everything and start listening so you can figure out where the problem is and why the problem is. It is not for you to continue to judge anything anymore because you passed that. That's how you got to this complacent place. That's how people have gotten complacent, because they've been dismissive, because they don't even want to hear anything you got to say anyway. So the Holy Spirit dealt with me with that. So my space and what I was saying was, I needed to hear why she voted the way she voted, and I'm glad I heard it. It doesn't tell it. All I heard honestly was that she voted. I didn't hear too much of the whys that actually made sense to me, but I felt like her position, she felt like it was an alternative to what I thought, for a reason that, okay, I don't understand it, but she felt like she wanted to go a different way, because in my mind, for a lot of reasons, I could name the same reasons that Miss Tracy and the other young lady had, but I don't care about my reasons, because my reasons don't count now. Only thing that counts now is, what do I do? Because it doesn't matter. Whatever is out there, whatever the thought process is going to be proven wrong. It don't matter. It don't matter that you didn't vote for Kamala, or you voted for Trump, or you voted for Jill Stein, because everything that we're discussing tonight in within the next 48 months is going to be proven exactly why we voted the way we voted, why they voted the way they voted. All that stuff is going to come out. So how do we address, and how are we preparing for that eventuality? And I also said, because the young ladies were saying, I'm done with this. I'm done with this. And, and I get that. I get it. Because especially in Virginia, in Richmond, they beat you down here. But right now is your time. And I don't care what I know what I can imagine what you do. I'm in politics here in Richmond and all this stuff. I know the clicks, the game, everything. This ain't that. And our wisdom and your wisdom, ladies, everybody on this call, is going to be called up right now. Because we have to show people how to go back to old school. We have to show them that. They didn't respect that, but they're going to learn to respect it. And we can't be tired. And I will vote again. So I don't believe, all I'm saying is grace is important at this point, at this moment. But it is also, like I said too, we 2 days out. So emotions are still high. I mean, emotions are very, very raw. I really almost got off the call because I was like, what are you talking about? But I can't judge that. How am I going to judge that? I don't know your life experiences that led you to feel that was your only choice. I don't know that. So I respect it. And all I'm saying is, what the Lord dealt with me on this call with, you better start figuring out how to respect people's opinions, because you don't know them and you don't know their lives, and you accept what they say and continue with your mission to help. That's it. It ain't your job to do the rest. It's your job to help. And I said, yes, I did write a manifesto, 48-page, on how we get back to community. I sent it to DC. I already got some letters from DC. I got some information from them. I sent it to a few people. I wouldn't mind sharing it, because I know the old school values that both of these young ladies are talking about, they don't have that shit today. And if we even got even a third of that back, we would be very equipped to deal with what's getting ready to happen. And it won't.
Ms. Johnson, I have a question, because you hit on something. I'm sorry, Queen, to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
but and I partially agree with some of what you said in respect. But I think the problem that I have is and stuff is you're 100% right. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. But for me, when I started this conversation, I wasn't talking about opinion. I was talking about facts that they put an asshole in office, okay, because of foolishness. Number one. Now, and I respect the fact that Miss Love, she found something in Miss Stein or whatever. I'm sorry, was that her name? Miss Stein
Yeah.
that resonated with who she is. I don't take that right away from her. What I have a problem with is two things. The excuses that come up that we give grace, it's like funny because like I listen to all of these people that did go other ways, right? But they didn't do their research on the person. They just said, "Oh well, rather than vote for her because she locked up 30 black men and blah 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 blah." You follow what I'm saying? That's the first problem that I have. The second problem that I have, and I'm sorry, I'm not. I'm just being 100%. I think, and this is not to Shy Love. I'm talking to the younger generation as a whole. Sometimes if they just shut the fuck up and listen, they will be okay. The problem is that they got too much damn privilege and they think they know every damn thing. Okay. And so my point is that right now, in these times that we are getting ready to go through, a hard head makes a soft behind. And because you did not want to pay attention when the elders were talking and trying to learn you something, now you will see. That's my point.
Understood.
But
Understood.
that message is going to come through for a lot of people, not just young people. That's my point. This is so much bigger than, and I get you. I get exactly what you're saying. I understand you 100%. But this is getting ready to. This is all of those Latino people that thought going with white people was going to be the way. This is so much bigger than simple as teenage, young kids that just don't listen to us. And if we can't figure out how to have that grace with just the basics, how you gonna help people when a Hispanic person comes to you and they voted for Trump? Not that they voted for Jill Stein, but they voted for Trump because they thought they was whiter than you. And they're gonna need the same help that
Can't get
the
it from me.
person that you talking to now is going to need. How you gonna deal with that? Because I understand everything you're saying. I just said I got a 34 and a 24-year-old. They say the same stuff to me. They don't understand how. I don't understand.
Exactly. I had the same debate with
It is
my
a
son who is
generation
in that
gap,
age group.
and we have to figure out. We got the wisdom on our side to say, okay, at least I'll sit down here and shut up and listen to you, and see where maybe I didn't tell you this right, or see where maybe you didn't get this message clear enough, and acknowledge.
But
But
how
this
do
is
they
so
think
much
that how do they think that
because it
our
doesn't matter
survive?
to me.
How do they think that our grandparents survive? One of the things that I find with our people as a whole, the templates is always there, but we choose to ignore them to go all kind of crazy ways or whatever and stuff. When other races don't do that. They prepare their children. Their children live. Now they got defiance. Don't get me wrong. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that you got to be willing sometimes to know what you know and know what you don't know, and just be quiet. These are hard times. We've cuddled some of our children. Some of our children are so coddled that they don't even have a clue. When we can equate it to like the Montgomery bus strike. Okay, when they said don't get on the bus, it was don't get on the bus. And then women walked in high heel shoes and they didn't get in the bus. Half of these people won't even walk a half a block.
But they're
Okay,
gonna learn
so
it.
but they're
They're
gonna
gonna
learn it.
learn it. But
That's my
they're gonna
point. They're
learn it.
gonna, and that's not
They're
me
going
saying
to
that
learn.
I'm hating on them. I'm just saying that you had an easy way out. You had
But
an easy
they
way
not.
out. Do I think Kamala was perfect? Absolutely not. I don't think no politician is perfect. They all fall short. I think the funny thing is that we get people to always throw God up in the mix, right? But there was only one perfect person that walked this earth. So why are we expecting somebody else to be this majestic, perfect individual? That we are the only people, we are the most oppressed people that oppress our own people. They not black enough, their hair ain't straight enough, they ain't light enough, they ain't dark enough. We've got to come over that, because at the end of the day, you know what's so funny? Yesterday around 6 o'clock, a blanket text went out to a bunch of college students. It's all over the internet, basically saying, "Dear Negroes, report to the nearest plantation." And we know that's a troll. We know that that's a troll to get things agitated.
That
But
is
just
Elon
imagine if
Musk.
that alarm really went
That ain't
off.
no troll. That is Elon Musk. You better
Okay.
know who you dealing with. You better know the capacity that's going on. These damn hurricanes are Elon Musk. Don't keep playing.
Oh no,
We better be prepared.
exactly. Do you know that he made $15 billion on this election?
Sure
On
did.
this
Sure
election,
did.
and we're
I
not
don't
talking about
care.
it.
I
He
care
actually
about the damn
invested that money.
hurricane. The
Yeah,
next
but you
two
know the reason
hurricanes
why I
coming
care?
here.
Because we using all of their stuff. We jump on Twitter. I got on Twitter and all of them long ago. Black people think that they run out and get a Tesla. It makes them look important. All you doing, I put up a website today to show people where they can Google and see where their money went. From everything from Walmart to Hobby Lobby, every single business, you can see where their money went. Okay. Imagine my surprise. I got a girlfriend who's a crafter, and I pulled up Hobby Lobby, and 99% of their purchases funds went to fund Donald Trump. I won't be going in Hobby Lobby no more. I'm that type
Which
of
is
person.
true.
When I say I gave up football once I realized the plantation mentality, and I never looked back, and I'm okay. I'm okay. And that's what I think Anika is saying. I'm good. I'm okay. I don't have to be out there in the trenches or whatever, because this work gets tired. And as Shy can tell you, as somebody who says that they advocate or whatever, this is exhausting. And trying to help our people is one of the most exhausting things in the world, because they don't like to listen. They don't like to be told what to do. They don't like to be told the truth. They don't like transparency. So they rather believe an unsolicited lie than the truth.
Let me get Shy in. Hold on. Let me before Ms. Johnson get back in. Let me be fair. Let me get Shy in this.
First, I just want to say, Ms. Johnson, thank you for staying on and listening to the rest of the conversation and not just jumping off. A lot of people, I'm 43, and a lot of people my age, I would say probably 30 to maybe like 30, 20, the late 20s up to my age, we really feel ignored. During this whole election, we really felt ignored. We felt like, our opinions didn't matter. Like the Democrats, we know what's best for you. Just go along with the plan. I'm not even counting the Republicans, because the people I know in my demographic weren't voting for him anyway. But to just be shushed and set aside, no, you're not going to get my vote. Treating me like that. Like, it's just not going to happen. And that's how we feel. That's how we feel that the Democrats, treated us. And about, the whole election process, number one, is rigged. It's rigged. There's 3 or 4 or 5 parties that don't even get to debate when it's time to debate. And I noticed that when I was in my young 20s is when I really started paying attention to politics. And every person I wanted to vote for, now I'm 43. So for the past 23 years, everybody I wanted to vote for and the people I associate myself with who wanted to vote for was always a third party candidate. And they blocked them from every single debate possible. So this is what we have. This 2-party system is fucked up. It's not working. It just doesn't work. It don't work for us.
It was set up that way for a reason.
I totally agree with her on that. I stopped voting party.
I hear your opinion.
Let me get. Hold on. Let me get Miss Walston. Miss Walston. Anika?
No, I'm just listening.
Okay, not a problem. Here, at the end of the day, we have a lot to account for, and there's a lot of things that beyond God knows whatever. We already know what happened, and we already know why. The flavor of it's happening, we could debate, but we already knew what potentially that this could easily happen. Either she was going to barely win or massively lost, and this was a massive loss. And even if she barely won, it was going to be a whole big mess. It's similar to what Jimmy Kimmel said. Oh, I guess they claimed that the fix was in it, and I guess the fix wasn't in it, which means there was never no fix in to begin with, But when you have so many people not voting for Trump or not voting at all, and which gives the vote to him anyway, it's a problem. And people are living in their own reality. People need to understand that what happens in our own circle is not how it works for everybody else in this world, even in this state or even in your local city. How we operate and deal with things in Virginia is different in New York, is different in Texas. You think some things should be running is going to be different here. It doesn't work that way. Let's just get it straight, people. And how we may operate our lives, we're going to have to do it differently if I was in the middle of Johnson City, Tennessee, whatever the case may be. And as long as we understand that we have to have some type of common sense and common denominator, just like the lady said, what we all said, it's not about the policies, it's about the character and the morals and the facts. And if we can come to a conclusion that matters first, we can get somewhere. And I think we can go from there. The next thing that we're going to also have to come to a conclusion is that this is, if nothing else, for those, and say hello to the dog that's barking for me in case they were wondering. Oh, okay, that's no problem.
I thought you was talking a different language.
I deserve that. I deserve that. But we have to. This is a spiritual warfare. Okay, this is a spiritual war. Regardless of you, however everybody feels on the spiritual plane, I could say for me and for some others, I will say that this is a spiritual fight. And we also going to have, this is a lesson outside of the political aspect. This is a lesson that we need to teach our children and even our young adults. And if they don't learn today, you're going to learn that no matter what you do, things are sometimes just not going to go our way. That's just the bottom line of it. And how we react to it is going to make it. And yes, we can't sit there and just freely give ourselves and our time and our energy to a bunch of people that just don't have it in for us no matter what. We've long ago, before this election, before the last 20 years, we long lost the love for each other 50, 60, 70 years ago. I think this was happened before the King assassination. And before Kennedy was killed, before X was killed, all beforehand. And we could have, if we would have worked together hundreds of years ago, we could have gotten over and succeeded as a society and gotten over the petty things that we fight over now. And it's hard. And our young people are not listening because they see the things, the mess in our 40s and 50-year-olds are doing. And we were doing some of the same mess that they're doing. And when we saw some of the things that's out there in our music and our politics and our how we conduct ourselves and our clothes, when we didn't put a stop to it and say no. We didn't listen to our aunts and uncles and things. I'm sorry, the older ones, we listened to our aunts and uncles and say, oh, they're too hard and whatever. And then we came down the line and started letting it easy on everything else. The permissive parenting, everybody get a trophy award or the recognition, everybody got to get recognized, blah, blah, blah. And now we're living in a society with those people who are now voting the last 20 years or so. And this is what we get when we didn't put a stop to some of the stuff in the mid-90s, in Black America, and particularly in the mid-90s when this stuff started. From the late, I think there was a big revolution up to maybe 87 to about 92. Everything was a big revolution. You saw everybody, and some for either performative or reality. Everybody was back to wearing African colors. You saw it in our music. You saw the Jungle Brothers. You see people wearing their medallions. You saw people putting in efforts for our movies and our culture. And it's like, we're going to talk about all of this stuff. But when we allow some of this other foolishness to take the heed, that's when you get in. And then, oh, it'll go away. No, it did not go away.
One of the things that I wanted to do, because we talked about the whole racial aspect, but it's even bigger than that, okay? Because we talked about, and this is particularly for Miss Love's generation. We talk about, because they're still young, they're able to still be out and reproduce and stuff. We're talking about the abolishment of Planned Parenthood. We're talking about the abolishment of unwanted pregnancies for rape victims and things. We're talking about our LGBTQ brothers and sisters that no longer will be him, her, they, the. We're talking about going back to a time that now when babies are born, they're either boy or girl. You don't get to pick and choose or whatever if they're a hermaphrodite or whatever. So this thing is bigger than just a racial
Well,
aspect. It affects everybody across
I know that. I know.
all lines and stuff. But for me, I agree with Miss Love when she said one of the reasons why I started my Black Leadership Council is because years ago I determined that I was tired of politicians coming into my neighborhood telling us what they believe our agenda is versus us telling them what we want our agenda to be. Okay,
That's
number
gotta
one.
stop. It
And
works
number
for
two,
us.
right. And then number two, showing up with their hot dogs and their moonwalks and bouncy things or whatever and stuff to take pictures with our kids. And then when they get in to get our vote, and then they get in office and they get amnesia. So I have to agree with her as far as the agenda. The problem that I have is that for me, this is just for me, this election wasn't the time to get up on all of these high horses that we should have been addressing all along. We should have been
Well, that's
addressing
where
these
I'm.
things all. No, I know that you have, Miss Shy may have, Anika, and
No,
even Miss Johnson, but there are some of us that did not pay attention. Okay, realistically, every American should have been up in arms when he was allowed to be even placed in the running for president of the United States. And so when you say what we can do for those of us that wrote the Department of Justice, for those of us that called and sent letters to the White House, he should have never been on the ballot, period. If he was a black man, he would have never have been on the ballot. If Barack Obama had done half of what Trump had done, he would be buried up underneath the jail or whatever. If I was a convicted felon, or if I was married to a convicted felon, I would have had a felony march on Washington, because I'm trying to understand how a felon can hold the highest office in the land, and a felon can't work in daycare or childcare and not be a pedophile or anything like that. So, and not get a second chance for writing a bad check. So again, when people are angry, we're angry for that. Yes, there are going to be some people that are angry at individuals like Miss Shy and other people, strictly because they felt that as a black woman, black people should have rallied behind her and listen and really researched out who she was, because they did not. They took, and this is no disrespect to you, Shy, but our modern generation think that Google holds everything. That all they got to do is get on Google, and Google is going to give them the fact. Most of them think that what's ever out there in virtual land, they don't know that that's somebody that's out there that controls that stuff, like Wikipedia and all of that foolishness, right? And so a lot of them waited until too late to even realize. I had a nephew that was adamant that she just locked guys up like she was walking down the street. Again, to Miss Johnson's point, that's neither here or there. Now the election is over. What do we do now? Because at the end of the day, whether you're 60 like me, 30 and 40 like Shy, 25 like Anika, the bottom line is as Black people, we all in the same boat and we all going to suffer the same ills together, period.
I got
So what are
no.
we going to do to galvanize to make sure that we are protected? Because the wrath is coming and it's coming quickly. It's
But
already, the current has already started.
that's where I'm trying to
Right.
get to. Okay,
That's
that's where
my
I'm trying
position.
to. That's
Listen,
where
I'm in agreement with you. I'm 56. I mean, 57. I just turned 57. So I'm here. I'm here for it. But I'm also here for what we need to do to move forward, like you said, and everything. I'm in agree. I'm, but I'm not stupid here. Don't think that either. I'm telling you, it took, as you say, with the boundaries. In the last 2 years, that's all the Lord has been dealing with me with boundaries and putting boundaries on and teaching people how to deal with me and teaching me how to deal with people better. So for this, what's getting ready to happen, if we don't look back and reflect, and that's all I was saying, introspect the whole process, because we didn't just get here. First of all, the change that you're talking about and this complacency and all of this stuff, it wasn't going to happen until God said it was going to happen. And it wasn't going to happen until we absolutely were just so extreme in everything that something this extreme had to happen to slap us into reality anyway.
I'm not sure.
So that's just what I see. So I have to go from where we are now, because we on the clock. January 20th gonna be here before you know it. And if we don't have a full-fledged game plan and be very clear, race is the key denominator out of everything. And if Black people who have been clearly defined, if you believe it and or not, the enemy of pretty much everybody, not just white people and Latinos, everybody. So if we don't figure that piece out and know, okay, I don't care who we got to get it together, and we have to get it together in our own house. And that's my position. And anybody who want to support and anybody want to help and anybody, it's you going to hear that that's why they should be able to help. It won't be, well, I'm not letting a Latino person help me, or I'm not doing that. We will hear it, because you will know the level of pain that they've gone through, because we know it. We hear it. So all I'm saying is moving forward. And again, this is literally 3 days after the fact. So I hear you in the pain. I hear the pain because I have it too.
But let me jump
all
in
I'm
here.
saying is everybody, for us to move forward. And I said it strictly as a mother and a daughter in the midst of and trying to make some sense of, because I think the same way about half the time about my son and my daughter, but I know my mom thinks the same way about me. And the Lord said, well, then you have to stop and listen. You have to stop and listen and understand their why. And you have to explain to your mother better your why. And then she will tell you her why. And then they will tell you their why. And then you all will have a conversation on, let's move forward then. Because that's what it's going to take.
I agree.
Yes, we can analyze all. I mean, I have a problem with the whole, I don't need a Black man age process. That was a big damn thing in the 90s. That's how we got to some of these damn kids today. Because I don't need a man. Okay, so you don't. So this what you end up with, a damn batshit crazy fool. But you didn't need a man in your house because that wasn't a thing then. I understand all of that. But this where we at today. And we got here today because all of us were too stubborn to make the changes that we should have made. And I accept my responsibility in that role. And I'm fine with it, because that's the only way I can move on. I can't stay here because we on a time clock. That's the problem. We on the time clock.
Okay, hold on.
So I can analyze all of that, or I could leave it up to God. Lord, when I need that as a memory, bring it up. But if I don't need that right now, let it go. I need to let it go because I don't need to harbor on nothing. I don't need to remember what happened in 85 for me. I don't need to hear. I don't need to remember when I had that argument with my daughter and I wanted to put her out. I don't need that right now. I need to. What is the process for us moving together, moving forward? So last night our conversation was it's only one grandchild in our household, but it's 4 in our family right now. So what are we all doing to pull our resources together to get these kids in private school and so they not in nobody's draft? Ain't nobody playing no more. It ain't we don't have time to be trying to analyze what we didn't do right in the past if it ain't gonna help us move forward. I'm not saying to not focus. I'm not saying that it didn't happen because it's valid for all of us. All I'm saying is moving forward.
Hold on, ladies, hold on. Ladies, hold on.
Listen,
Okay. So
again,
hold on.
I didn't
Hold on,
say
ladies.
not
Hold
to.
on.
I
Ladies,
said not to harbor.
ladies.
I said I asked the Holy Spirit to when I'm going too far and I'm missing a point because I'm focused on something that I don't need to be focused on. I need you to remove that from my mind because I need to stay focused on what we need to be prepared for what we're dealing with today.
Okay, ladies.
My mother sat on the phone with me today and she said to me, I was born in 1945. I've had disappointment that you ain't even never experienced. So what you experienced today, I've experienced this type of pain from my country before. You need to figure out what we get. We need to figure out how we need to prepare ourselves and move forward.
Okay.
My mother's 70, 80 years old. And that was the best context that the Lord allowed me to hear.
Okay. Hold on, ladies. Okay, ladies, hold on.
So
Okay.
I'm not diminishing
hold on.
or not saying that what you're saying is not valued. I'm saying 2 things. We 2-3 days out, and this is painful right now. But we don't have the grace of time. And all I'm saying is we on this call, we on here right now together. And I don't want and I don't want you to think that I'm trying to shut anything down. I have never been, I'm fighting to stay focused. I'm 57. Menopause is for real. And it makes my mind go all over the place. These are real things that you have to do to stay focused, to keep moving forward. Okay. And I'm just being very blanket honest with you. Okay, so I'm not trying to be dismissive. I'm just saying.
Okay, hold on.
I've been saying to my daughter all day because she's 34,
yes,
like I said, and
I hear you, but
everything with her goes from 0 to 10. I'm like, look, you better bring that down. You better figure out how to bring that down because that's a waste of your time and energy, and you're going to miss something, and you don't have time to miss something now.
Okay, hold on.
I'm analyzing everything now.
Ms. Johnson,
and
hold on.
Figuring out how do I best manage these things.
So Miss Johnson, Miss Johnson. Hold on, Miss Johnson. Mr. LP is trying to say something. I'm sorry.
Ahead. I'm finished. Go ahead. I'm finished.
Okay. All right. First of all, I'm a guy that's not. No, I don't know if you can hear
I can't hear him or see him. I can't.
Okay. All right. No problem. All right. First off, I was trying to.
That's why I was talking because I can't hear him.
Okay. I'm trying to get both of y'all ladies' point is what I'm trying to get to, but I never got a chance to get to finish it. Okay. But basically, the reason why I brought up the points of what's going on and why we didn't stop it from the 80s and 90s to things that I'm a person that yes, we move forward, but I am one. I'm tired of the BS excuse of, well, and I'm not saying the ladies here are saying it, but what's happened to our young people and just people overall? Well, we can't do nothing about that. Let's move forward. We got to stop that shit.
Can't hear anything.
Okay. You are, I don't know why you can't hear. I don't know I don't know why you can't hear. Maybe got to refresh. I don't know. But one of the things is that we we got to stop that mess of like saying, oh, forget about it, whatever, move on forward. And this is why we are in the mess that we are, because we refuse to, we talk about learning our history, but then when someone like me or others try to explain that history, then we're told, oh, we don't want to talk about it, move forward. We can't have it both ways. We don't learn from our past and we don't learn our history. And then we keep talking about, we don't want to see a slave movie. We don't want to learn about whatever. We don't want to learn about this, whatever. And there's all these other cultural history movies that's out there that don't get shown. There's all about something of our inventors, our past, our lessons, and our history. And because we refuse, people think, and especially our young people today, what's happening now, that this stuff is over with. They have all the answers to, similar to what Silk said, because of the fact that we are not passing these lessons on. And if we don't recognize as a whole collective, not this conversation, the present party, but as a collective, accept the fact that we are not teaching our lessons and accepting that we have a problem and just keep trying to go forward without fixing it, it's a problem. That's why we can't sit there and properly ask for things if we don't fix ourselves in our community or within our homes or within ourselves. That's why they tell you don't move on to some other things until you fix yourself first, or, you know, you can't go out and fixing other homes if you don't fix the roof in your own. We talk about don't go to other countries until we fix our own. Same thing here. So we have to do those things. Now, in terms of going forward, which is what I was alluding to, is one, it's a spiritual warfare. We got to start working, and within ourselves and work and handle that. Then the second thing is that, like I said before, we need to learn the laws and what we have and what we're potentially not going to have. And as the news matriculate out and as the law changes, we need to be aware. Just like how everybody wants to tell you what the weed law is for marijuana now, and they don't know what it really is, and it's legal, and it's really not in the same way that they think it is what's going on. All these laws, what's going on, we need to be aware. Those who said, oh, I don't really get into politics, I don't really want to know, that has to change. Voting, if it's still here in your primaries and your local elections, get involved. Still get involved in your local schools. If you choose to take your children out of private school or put them into another local public school or homeschool, either way, learn the laws in your local area and still do it. And again, I'm not accusing anybody on this panel, but there's too many people that are not taking the responsibility of their education for their child, because it is not the school's responsibility. It is your responsibility. At the end of the day, if they go ahead and do take the Department of Education away, okay, it's still our responsibility in our communities. All of you are too young, but Tracy's the only one that's old enough to remember when they had the in the 80s and the 70s, when they had the oil strikes and lack of oil and gas.
Yeah, I'm gonna punch you, but you was so right. Okay. That's what I mean by when I was saying to Ms. Johnson, I agree with her, but we always have to go back. History repeats itself. If we'll make the same mistakes over again, and that's what I mean about the elders talking and sharing that, because Mr. LP's point is valid. There's some people, I don't know if Ms. Love knows about it, but I know, I was telling my son today when me and him was in a full debate, you don't know what struggle is, you don't know what it is to have to go to a gas station only on a Tuesday, every third Tuesday, and make that gas work, and to stand on and sit online for 4 or 5 hours just to get a tank of gas. You don't know what that is. You don't know what strike came. You don't know when New York City had a garbage strike and garbage stayed out for 7 months, okay, in the street, and you had to step over mountains of garbage. Everybody always has a struggle. And because of our complacency and not being involved in the process, history, it is always going to repeat itself. It may be in something different, but it's always going to repeat itself.
Exactly, because what happened is
People that don't want to be safe.
Right, because what happened is that what I was leading to is that when I say we're responsible for education, those who had gas grabbed the kids together and made multiple trips to school. Or you taught the kids, the ones that had the school systems that shut down. There were plenty all through up and down the East Coast and the Midwest. Okay, let's not forget that. That shut down for years in some cases. So what did you have to do? We taught at home. And then when school finally opened, you went into whatever grade. Okay. So those are the things that we looked out for each other. I don't think people, even just using Richmond, for example, people forgot just not too long ago, we had a garbage crisis here where people weren't picking up the trash for the city and the county and for days and weeks at a time. Thing we just had not too long ago, we still fight water problems here. It just what was it? It was just 7 years ago. They just fixed the water down on Midlothian Turnpike, or was it 6 years ago? The park that was always flooding out, and the park was just full of flood, and the people on the north side was always worried about being flooded out their homes. They finally just fixed that. Okay, we still got water problems with the waterworks here, and 47 different cities, major and minor, or most of them major, have water crisis problems. Okay, Flint, Michigan is still a problem 25 years later. Okay, so I mean, and where are we? So again, we don't learn from our lessons. So until we fix that problem, and there's a saying, do Black people really know what we want as a whole, as a collective? And there's a question to be had in that, is that probably not. Because as a general rule, if we did, we would have on some, there's going to be ancillary things here and there as accessories. But until we come together of what we need as a whole, as a collective, okay, then we can work it out together on those things and get the basic things. Similar to what Ms. Walston said, worry about these basic things, okay? Get that straight. Get all those other things together. And then we could talk about other things if I choose to be involved, similar to what she said, and similar to what Sha says, and similar to what everybody has said. We have to make sure. Sorry, I lost you, Silk. Sorry about that. But I was just saying that until we know what we want and come together on the basic things, which is the character and the morals and the things that's going to help us on a base level, which is our education, our health, and our investment and our money. Those are the type of things that's going to help. And to the other point, to the last one here, is that, okay, what do we need to going forward? We need to learn about money. We need to learn about our laws. We need to learn to check in with your family members and things within your home to know what's going on. We, don't do certain things. I'm not saying live in fear, but stop doing stupid things that we still continue to do. If there's no need to be loitering out at 1, 2, 3, or 4 o'clock in the morning, drink it on the side, and you want to do it, and then you don't give them excuses. Okay, there's certain things as his character. What they say after 3, 4 in the morning is emergency.
I'm on my way to your house. And I'm gonna choke the living life out of you. Like you're holding. These are things, and this is just my opinion, but what I'm hearing from you is things that get in your grind, that get you pissed off, right? Those things have nothing to do with this, okay? If you choose to be outside at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, you have a right to be outside at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. If you're not committing any crime, you're not hurting anybody, you're minding. That's a dangerous precedent, because then that feeds into the whole thing where you see 5 guys standing together and all of a sudden they're gay. Stop it. Stop making excuses for white America doing what they taking our rights from us, because we don't do that to them. It's okay for them to be out at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. I should not have a target on my back. No, but you do that, and that's aggravating to me, because I have a black son. I have a black son that's still at the age that if he chooses to be out at 1, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, I don't give a damn if he wants to sleep outside. Okay, he has a right to do so, and we keep making excuses, and so we know that it's not the smartest thing. Let's just say that to do. But by the same token, stop telling them to stop doing that, because then we're holding them responsible.
I'm talking about the misbehaving of stuff. I'm not saying. I'm talking about y'all hear the first half and never let me finish, and then y'all get upset and y'all hear the part of it.
What is the misbehaving part? What is the misbehaving part? Give me that part.
I'm talking about the drinking, the fighting, or drugs, or something stupid like that. Those are the things that I'm talking about. and things like that. If you're coming in, you could be coming from work or whatever, or you could go. You may get up hungry and go to Wawa at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning. That's fine. But if you're out drunk and then potentially try to get in the car and drive, if you're doing drugs.
Okay,
No,
Stephen.
But that's not us as a people. That's not us as a people. That's just anybody. Nobody should be out drinking and driving.
Right, but I'm just saying still. I'm saying this, and that could be anybody. That could be us. That could be anybody. I'm just saying that when things happen, it affects us unfortunately the worst. We don't have in this world. We cannot. The laws do not apply to us the same. We already know that. And there's white privilege. We do not get the same understanding. Unfortunately, we are not looked at as individuals when things happen and things. We don't get that grace. So all I'm saying is just that doing the stupid things that's going out there and causing trouble. No, I'm just talking about just common sense, protective safety things. And yes, it happens to yes. Everybody has a right to things, but I'm just saying that, we cannot do the same thing. If I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and say I'm hungry and I want to go get a sandwich at Wawa, sure, I'll go do that, get my sandwich and come home. I'm not going to sit out there, keep getting drunk or to pass out drugs and doing some other things that I should not be doing.
But when a cop rolls up on you and asks you, why are you out at 3 o'clock in the morning strictly because you're walking black, then what?
No, that's something different. That's something different. That's your right. That's your right.
I'm saying to me, you crossing a really, really fine line, because I think everybody on this phone has been in their car and seen some white dude walking down the street staggering, and he ain't got a care in the world that nothing's going to happen to him. He gets to his destination without anything. Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Stop putting out here, and the reason why I'm aggravated, because I remember when my son got his driver's permit, and where white people celebrate when their kids drive, I was terrified. I did not want to. Every time my son kept saying, "Ma, you're going to take me to DMV," I would give him some kind of excuse. I never told him why until finally he buckled me down and I took him. And when the first time that my son went out in the car by himself, I was terrified. I did not sleep until he walked back in that door, because I didn't know. And I remember I lived in Henrico County. I had a BMW, and I got a call from a police officer asking me if I had, and my heart dropped. And when I got to my car, all I seen was my car, and I started screaming, "Where's my son?" And they had my son sitting on a curb because it was 2 o'clock in the morning. He was coming from a football celebration, and they stopped him. And you know why my son got let go? Because he was dating the magistrate's daughter. And when they took him down to the magistrate, they was like, "This is a good kid. What is he doing here?" So stop doing that, because now you can see I'm really emotional.
I had nothing. I have no issues with no. That was wrong, and I have no issue. I'm talking about, I'm not talking about the people that's coming from job, work, getting something to eat, sports, whatever, doing the right thing.
It doesn't matter where they're coming from.
Like
it
that.
does not matter.
I have no, hold on. I'm talking
any
about.
Other ladies have anything on that? Because I'm like annoyed.
I do. I think I understand. Okay. I think I'm understanding. So Stephen, she's not negating what you're saying. I hear you also. I think she's saying, be very careful how you deliver that communication, because there's a very thin line.
I never got to communicate.
It's not that she's disagreeing with you. She's saying there is a very thin line. So when we make these statements about not doing stupid things, we need to also understand we don't want to incite so much fear into people where they can't be who they can naturally be.
I'm not stating that. But again, like I said, when I was first making the statement, I never got a chance to even finish it. That's clearly, I could rewind it back and things of what have you. Okay. I'm not disagreeing, and I'm not saying she's not disagreeing with me. I'm just saying that if I'm just saying in clear conscience to me, okay, if you're out, and it can affect, yes, anybody can do it. I know for a fact a white man could go out there and down the street in Petersburg and keep doing whatever and act a fool, and they don't care about it. They look at us. I get that. My issue is that if you're out there willfully doing something wrong, Okay, you're doing drugs, you're drinking and driving, you're doing those type of things and stuff. We are not getting the graces we weren't anyway, but definitely not. And I'm just saying is that as us as protecting our people, is like the hammer. If you don't think the hammer is not going to come down before, it's coming down now. I'm not saying that to live in fear. I'm just saying in terms of be careful of how we conduct ourselves. I'm not asking everybody to be straight laced with whatever goody two shoes. I am just saying just be mindful of what you do and just give a second thought of when you choose to go do something wrong. Just add a little step of caution and things of that and saying, okay, if I'm going out to go do something, things like that, and I'm coming home from work, I'm coming to the game, or we're out on a date, whatever the case may be, fine. But then go to also just some common sense things. Go to a well-lit area if all possible. Okay. If you're out late and you decide to do whatever, make sure that somebody knows where you at and say, hey, I'm coming home from the game, or this is where I'm at. If I'm you got AAA if you can. If you make sure your phone and batteries and stuff is charged. Those are the things, and I'm just saying that as us that we don't typically sometimes do. And look, you can look at the emergency services and preparation. There's a lot of Black men and women that don't know the first thing about changing a tire, jump starting a car, or just certain other things that just right now, and it may seem petty, but right now the hammer is dropping. And
Right,
all
but
I'm
that's
just
not
saying.
how you explain
So
it. That is
Stephen,
not even
all right,
close
so
to what you're saying. That's not.
so I just want to say that Stephen, I get what you're saying. It's for safety and all of that. Like for at least maybe the past 10 years, my family and we use Life 360. It's a free app. You can put it on your phone. I was telling my boyfriend about it a few months ago. I think he thought I was just trying to track him. And I told him it's just for safety. Well, about a couple of weeks ago, something happened with one of his family members. And within like a couple of days, he's messaging me, telling me, oh, what's the name of that app again? I want to make the group. Let's make a group of you. I want to make a group of you, and you'll see where I'm at, and I'll see where you at. And then he has his children on another group. And so it's like, there's different things you can do to be safe. Like my son,
Exactly.
my son is 20. He does, luckily he's a homebody. Both of them are, and he goes out maybe once or twice a year. That's it. But he got one of his friends wanted to pick him up just so they could go walking downtown on a Friday night. And I was just like, oh my God. But for me, I wasn't particularly worried about the police or anything. I was worried about like getting robbed or just any other hooligans or whatever around in the area. So like, I get what you're saying. But for me and my family, like, unfortunately, my mama raised me to be like super paranoid. If we one of those families where if I call your house or your cell phone and I know you at home and you don't answer within like 15 minutes, I'm in the car and I'm on the way over there. Like that, and we've always like that's just how we've been. So I get everything that you're trying to say. You're trying to say don't do like because they're gonna come and fuck with us anyway if they want to. You saying
Right.
don't purposefully be out here doing shit to give them a reason. That's what I'm taking from what you're saying.
So,
like the 360 app. I have that app, and then things. That's where I was saying, either sending information or whatever, just letting people know where you're at. Because unfortunately, okay, I grew up in the era, regardless of whatever, and still can recall this. We were payphones everywhere. You get on the nearest payphone, you kept the quarter in your sock or whatever the rule was, and you called to let you know when you go.
I grew up with payphones. We had payphones. We didn't have cell phones.
But I've been speaking, but the language is like, get on that before you get on that train. You make sure, I remember, in Newark on the buses at the stations and in Trenton and New Brunswick and also in Harlem, the payphones there, you had to get on it. And like before that, it was always a line. And it's just like, dang, you're going to miss the train sitting on the line trying to let somebody know that you're going to get on there before you get off so people could wait for you or whatever. I'm just saying that some of these things, it may seem silly, it may seem petty, but these are some of the things that our young people.
They're not silly. They're not silly and petty. And I think I just want to
I'm speaking to what the words of the young people
explain to the people that's on here. Okay, why that just hit a nerve with me. Okay, so so Stephen knows. So Easter Sunday, my nephew is out hanging out, doing what teenagers do, young 20-year-old hanging out or whatever. He gets high and he follows the rules that his mother tells him. If you're too high to drive, pull over in a nice, well-lit area and stay there till you get yourself together and come home, right? And so he does exactly what she tells him to do. The mistake that he made is that he had a firearm on him and he went to sleep. And the police came and they knocked on his window. And when they knocked on his window, it startled him. You're in the neighborhood, it's 3-something in the morning, and so you come up with your firearm and they blasted in him and they murdered him. And so for me, even when you do the right thing, sometimes it becomes the wrong thing. And I just think that as a mother, I don't know, my son is 40-something years old now, right? So I don't know if that you had to do it or whatever, but it's hard when we have to have that conversation with our kids. No other race has to have the talk. We have to have the talk. We know when our children get to a certain age, we have to have the talk. We have to have the talk with them on how to sit in a vehicle with their hands on the steering wheel. We have to have the talk with them. When is enough enough? When do we stop having to have the talk? That's what frustrates me, because no other race has to do that. No other race has to do, I remember when I was old enough to go out, my mother put in the car a little pouch that held my license, my registration, so I didn't have to reach for anything, right? I could just point to it and say, officers right there. Okay, when are we going to get beyond that? And so when it goes back to all of these things that's going on, it's like, I understand exactly where you're coming from, Stephen, but I'm tired of Black mothers burying Black children because of the talk.
I agree with you.
Children should be able to go out and do stupid stuff and make mistakes, and it shouldn't cost them their life. And that's what frustrates me. That's what aggravates me, because then we turn around and we teach our children, don't do this because we don't want you, don't do this. Why can't they just be allowed to be kids and make mistakes and fumble? And if the consequence means that your behind ends up in jail, call me. If I think I want to come bail you out, I will. If not, then your Black behind will sit there. Plain and simple.
But Miss Silk, Miss Silk, Miss Silk, we already know that this country is racist.
Yes.
Like, for me, if I could have it my way, I would just take whoever want to come with me. We just go buy some land. We do like the people, them religious cults and stuff do. We buy the whole neighborhood and they put up walls. Like, the police can't even get on their property to do anything. These people buy the whole neighborhood. They build office buildings. Like, they do all of this stuff. If I could have it my way, that's what I would do. I wouldn't even be a part of this society. Whoever want to come, let's go. But I wouldn't stay here. If that was a way for me to do that, I wouldn't live here. I just wouldn't. Because this, like, our reality is we can't just cross the street. A judge just dismissed a case against a dude the other day because the police officer brought him to court for marijuana charges. So when the judge is white, the boy is Black, he's like 19 or 20, and the judge immediately, the prosecutor's talking about the marijuana charge and the how much little bit of weed he had, and the judge is like, okay, so what happened? And the first thing that the prosecutor say is he was walking across the street, and so the judge says, okay, jaywalking, walking while Black, that's what he was doing, walking while Black. And the prosecutor's like, well, and he was like, dismissed. He told the boy, he said something like, this is unfortunately, this is where we at. Sorry, this happened to you. do whatever you can with your life, get out of your neighborhood, blah, 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 blah. Like gave him some advice and told him to go have a seat in the back, and the case was dismissed. And like, just like that. So, I mean, this is where we at. We know where we are. This country is not made for us. It's not for us. They don't like us. They don't want us. Like, what are we going to do about it? What are we going to do?
Say that again, because you just said what me and Anika was saying in the beginning of this conversation.
This is not,
they don't want us. But we put one of the biggest races, but we put somebody in now that's going to be governed over all of this into the White House. The person that now gets to call the shots for all of this.
In the first place. Never should have had a chance to vote on the man in the first place. That's
in the first place.
This is gonna force us to have to reevaluate and revamp and come together. Like it just is. Like if they can get through the civil rights movement and lynchings and everything else, it's been worse. It's been way worse.
So
we don't want it to go. We don't want it to go back. I know, but it's been way worse. So whatever they did or whatever, we just got to do the same shit. We got to do it.
That's called working together. Which is what my first question is: that what do we want as people, as Black people, and things like that? And first of all, do we? And to be honest, I'm go back to the same question I asked many years ago, even before the first podcast group and this one. We don't love each other. We don't, and so too many of us don't even love ourselves. And we gotta fix that part. We don't love ourselves. We don't understand ourselves. We don't know who we are. And even if you don't figure out, and sure, some people don't understand, don't even know what they want out of life. Okay. And I get that in some cases, but you still got to be functional and be a good steward in society for yourself and your family until you figure that out. But they don't even want to.
We also need to, but for me, Stephen, we need to, for the people who are like-minded, we need to come together. We need to, just like, I ain't even worried about the dummies, whatever. I'm not worried about any of that. If people want to shoot each other, they can go ahead and shoot each other all day. I'm over trying to save people. Like I'm not saving nobody.
Yeah, and we on the time. We on the time. All of that sounds very good. So I'll give you an example. Last night, me and my first cousins, all 7 of us, were on the phone. Do you have a 2-way radio? Do you have a mask build up? Because last time he tried to kill us all with a biological agent. So we need to figure out what do we need to do to address that. Are we stockpiling antibiotics? Will your doctor write you these prescriptions? Okay, my doctor write me these prescriptions. You got to be prepared for the evil that you absolutely know is getting ready to happen. Because all of that on the corner shit, that wasn't an issue when we was in COVID. Nobody was nowhere. So that ain't even getting ready to be an issue. They already talking about martial law. So what you gonna do? And to the young lady who asked about and it's called the compound. So our family decided, okay, we're going to put our money together, get 10 acres in a specific area. Steve already knows this, in West Virginia, and we heading out. How much gas does it take to get to where we need to be? For everybody from Georgia, from Mississippi, from North Carolina, from New Jersey, how much do we need to have stockpiled to get to there? If you don't have a plan and continuing to, I'm not saying dismiss the history, but Trump got a history too. And his history is very recent, and it hits January 20th. And he said this is what he's going to do. So what we preparing for? And I'm not going to continue to hear. I just can't even listen to. Well, listen. Niggas weren't on the street when we was in COVID. We was dying, or we was in our houses, because that's the way he wanted it. So what we gonna do?
We got to learn about. We got to. One of the things you mentioned about the medication, the doctor's prescription. Oh, I agree. And what your insurance may not pay. We need to learn how the money works and alternatives, because some of the medicines are high. So if you don't have it, try to save your money to purchase it, or what alternative medicines or what alternative things that we can do to get it. If you need to have oxygen tanks and ready and know how many that needs to take to circle out, yeah, there's a reason why those videos on YouTube, you see how people in their backyards or in other countries, they built whatever, built the compounds or built extra rooms in your house just off the dirt off your own land, and you know, all those things are very popular. They're popular for a reason. One, they're interesting, but two, it could possibly save you and your family's lives. Learn your medicine. Learn what you can and can't take. Know what's going on in your family history for your medicine, so you know what's going on, what can and potentially not take. Not everybody can say the diabetic medicines. Not everybody could take the same ones and stuff. That's got to stop. And things, what can we do? Too many of them's like, I don't want to do this, I don't want to eat. You got too many of what you don't want to do versus what you can do, and things, those type of things. And for the things that cannot be done on the local or federal level of stuff, or even your local, still know what's going on locally. And things still what
we talking about what you can do. We're talking about bottom line self-preservation. We're not talking about that in the next in between now and January 20th. We ain't making no laws. We ain't making we need to be prepared. And Trump has already showed us what he's going to do 8 years ago, almost 7 years ago. We know what happened. So you better be ready.
No, but yes, but like I said, knowing the medicines and how to get it in your oxygens or whatever else other treatments.
Banks Turner on Grove Avenue at Grove Avenue. That is my doctor. He's allowing stockpiling. So if you need to get antibiotics and you need to find that's the information we need to be sharing. We need to be sharing real stuff that people can actually use.
That the information I'm sharing is information about what people can use, because you need to know, if you can't get it, know the doctors that can. That's one. And two, what can you get alternative? Because unfortunately, everything is not available into all people where we live and exist. Unfortunately, one of the things I just use.
Mexico is a good spot. They don't have pharmacy rules in Mexico. So if you need to pull your money together and somebody take a trip to Mexico to go get some medicines, that might be an option.
Right, there in Canada as well. But the thing is also I'm just saying that that's an option for some. I'm just saying that I'm just trying to put out all the information out there for those who do not have access to everything, so they could choose whichever best option works for them. For those who going back and forth to Mexico and things, some of that medicines end up not being right. And then also in some cases, they take it away from you at the border, all because of what's going on now with the border. So there's a lot. You can even wait days going over there legally and then days trying to get back just because of what's going on with the legal points of entry. So there's a lot of things going on back and forth with it. And those are some options.
I'm gonna just throw it out there. Get a firearm. Even if you don't like guns, you need to go get you a gun. Get you a couple guns. You need to stock up on some ammunition. You need to go to the country, find your relative out in the country, and turn the backyard into a shooting range, and learn how to protect yourself that way as well.
A rifle and a 9mm, whatever. Just a rifle. You need both. You need a rifle and you need a small gun.
Absolutely.
That's the stuff
locked in,
join if you got a gun club that's local to you. I know some places have a Huey P. Newton gun club. Go join a gun club. Like it's some stuff we got to do.
I'm about to give all of y'all something.
Patriot.com.
I'll give you something. I'm going to give you something better. Okay, here, you don't need license or guns or anything else at all. Now, yes, it may be. So they got black ones if you want that too. But these,
Stephen, I'm familiar with that right there. We need real guns. Because they not gonna come with that right there. They gonna come with some real guns. We need real guns too. I mean, there's militia groups. We know this. There are militia groups They are doing their thing right now. They are practicing. They also be getting raided by the FBI because usually they're anti-government, but still they be organizing, and we need to get organized too.
Thank
No,
you.
they wanted
And
me.
be
No,
very
I'm not
clear.
denying that.
Everybody from January 6th will receive a pardon on January 20th, 2025.
He's looking to do that. He's looking to do that. But I gotta get off the show here. We're late. We're way past our time. And things like that, because the others had gotten off and things. So we need to go and stuff like that. But Silk already got off and things. But Shy, Silk, Anika, Miss Johnson, I thank you all for watching, joining in the show, and everything else. And I appreciate you all. And not to sorry to interrupt, but we realize.
All right. Good night.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye.